Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Starkeeper today, I guess, because today we are playing a very special one-shot of Paizo's outstanding science fantasy RPG, Starfinder. And we are playing this session in support of a prolific game designer and game runner, Owen Casey Stevens, who is currently going through a bit of a rough patch. Owen has had some health challenges in the most recent future, or most recent past, and then he recently was diagnosed with cancer, and he will be going through treatment, so that is good. But he is American, which means that there will be a cost associated with that, one way or another, and there is going to be the inevitability of not being able to work during treatment and whatnot. So we offered to run a fundraising game. We have links down below to Owen's Coffee account if you just want to give a one-time donation to him. His links to his Patreon account down there as well, where you can find a huge amount of great gaming content. And he has a imprint called Rogue Genius Games that you can find on Drive-Thru RPG, and you can any purchased games through that will also assist him as well. So without further ado, this is Owen's game. Both figuratively, because he was one of the lead designs on it, and literally. So, with me today are some luminaries from the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. Let me go through the order. I've got you guys on the screen and tell us who you are and who you're playing today. First up, we've got Jamie.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jamie. I am playing Zozok the Ever-Walking, a human mystic.
Very interesting. Next up is Ingolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Vuldan, who is a Vesk soldier.
Nice. A return to
Yes.
Vuldan as well.
Vuldan, yeah.
And last, but certainly not least, switch hitting at the last second for a very ill George is Darren.
Yep, Darren here. I'm playing Brisbane, who is a human operative.
Very nice. Now, George, if you are watching us, because I imagine you might be just quite sick, we do wish you well and hope you recover soon. So then, guys, we talked a little bit before we started about the mechanics and kind of what you need to know for going along. So let's get right into the game. Guys, our scene opens in blackness. And Zozok, you hear a woman's voice saying, "I swear you could sleep through anything." You open your eyes, and this is what you see out the screen of the vessel which you are in. You cannot hear it because, of course, this is the cold vacuum of space, but this is a science fantasy game inspired by Star Wars, so you can almost hear the rumbling of the star that you are traveling through. This, what you see, is the Burning Archipelago. It is a series of cities or small communities located inside of the sun. These massive, sprawling communities or outposts were built by unknown hands, and the routes that you travel through to get to them, likewise, it's unknown who built these things. What is known is that there is something called the far portal located in there, and no one knows what is on the other side of that. You are part of a crew that is traveling to make a delivery to a place in the Burning Archipelago. You, fortunately, were not having to navigate things. The either one of your companions or the what do you call it? The autopilot was taking care of things. Traveling through the passages in the sun to get to the Burning Archipelago is a relatively mundane process as far as traveling through tunnels in a star are concerned. But yeah, you fell asleep. This is one of your traveling companions. She is, curiously, an elf from a planet called Castravel. She is one of your one of your companions who you have trusted your life to countless times before. Someone who you would be dead on some long forgotten world, you know, in the in far space, were it not for her assistance. But the thing is, what the hell's her name? And that's when you really wake up. Now, Zozok, where you find yourself is apparently on the ground in some kind of escape pod. You would know the kind. They're fairly standardized in the packed worlds, and many of the manufacturers, and even the Viscarium, they build them pretty much the same there as well. There's a place to be able to lay your head. There's a place that has, you know, emergency food. There's a refresher in there, and there's a comm unit that allows you to communicate with would-be rescuers. And there's, of course, a port to be able to see out of, made of reinforced kind of plasteel type material. A couple curious things here. For one, gravity feels very much like normal, which is not unusual. Gravity, you know, mechanics are something that has been mastered for centuries, at least as far back as the Gap, probably beyond that as well. But what's curious is if there is a place to lay your head in here, a bunk that can easily fold down, why are you on the floor? A second question is, why is there light coming in as if it's a fluorescent light outside through the porthole? And the third question is, what the hell is in your hand? Because it hurts when you touch it. There is a little lump in there, and there is an obviously relatively recently sealed suture. It's space suture, so it's a, you know, cauterized and fairly clean, but it hurts a bit. You're looking around, there is what you see around you, and if you look out that window, what you can see is a sterile looking room. The roof is, well, it says here full of fang dragons. That's weird. Wait, no, sorry, I misread that. 1 second. The roof is 10 feet high. Is that right? That's not right. 15 feet high. There is a strange series of discs set in near where that don't appear to be lights, because those lights are quite visible. And then there is another circular disc 15 feet up in the center of the room. What there doesn't appear to be is anyone else. There is across the room what looks to be a series of doors. And that's when you hear, Vuldan or Brisbane, which of you do you think would be the first one to try and shout out? Because you both find yourselves in identical escape pods. The doors do not want to open if you test them. The comm unit does not seem to function. If you open the guts up, it seems that it is, all the guts are there for it to properly function, but this does not seem to want to work for you. Vuldan, I'm not sure if you're particularly skilled in engineering or repair, from what I recall.
Yeah, so normally I scream at it and then it starts working again.
Exactly. So here's what, Zozok, your last memory is what I just described to you. Brisbane, your last memory is escaping a planet called Suskalon that was about to be destroyed. Well, it was destroyed by this unthinkably large threat called the Swarm. Think of, like, if you combine the Starship Troopers bugs with, like, the aliens with Annihilus's waves of creatures from Marvel, you're getting close to what the swarm is. An intergalactic, devouring, psychic, evil bug thing stuff. You escape Suskalon. You're originally from Suskalon. You were part of the Fifth Army. The hell happened? And Vuldan, you have a somewhat more confusing backstory, but the most recent thing you remember as far as things are concerned is leaving Nakondis, a planet devastated by the Aeon Empire. Where the hell are you?
Yeah.
Briz and Vuldan, you do not have that same hand thing that I mentioned to Zozok. So, knowing that's the situation you found yourselves in, who will be the first one to try and shout? Because the other two would likely hear them. Is it Vuldan yelling at the machine?
Yeah. Tell me, where are we? Or where am I? So
Briz and Zozok, you can hear someone is cursing. Would it have been in like Galactic Common, or would it have been in Vesk?
No. He's raised on Absalom Station, so he would normally... Yeah.
Okay. So you would hear this throaty... if you had a lot of experience... Actually, let's get some dice roll. Why don't you each give us, Zozok and Briz, give us a society roll, please. See if the DM screen passes the test here. Nope. Little skill-based game with no fucking skills on the character on the screen. So
I don't believe I have society.
Yeah, I can't say.
I'm thinking of Pathfinder 2. Hold on, it's not
it's
that.
culture here.
Culture is what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Culture,
Sorry.
yeah.
I suspect that's not the last time that's going to happen this game. So Briz, you for sure, you actually you served alongside a Vesk, so you sort of know the two of them, in fact, and you know sort of the how the structure of their faces and maws can just affect how they talk. There's a Vesk a couple of things over. You can't for the life of you remember the name of the Vesk who you served with, but someone is shouting, and it's carrying through sort of the metal. Again, another sign that something's going on. If you were in the vacuum of space, there's no fucking way you would hear that.
Okay. Yes, I would shout back. Is there someone else there? Let us out, and I'll be banging on the door.
Okay.
You're going to regret keeping me in here, and then be just banging on the door and trying to break out as best as possible.
So Zola, you can hear goo 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 goo. All right, so to make an effort to try and break out of here, that's going to be an engineering roll.
Okay.
If anyone has that.
I have. Not very good at it, but...
Okay. So go ahead and give us an engineering roll, please.
Oof, as I said.
That is not great. Now, one of the things we mentioned... Yeah, you're with 3. Oh, and you've only got +2.
Yeah.
One of the things what we talked about beforehand is you can actually make use of your resolve to re-roll dice for the session, too. So do you want to take advantage of that?
I would, I'll give it one more try.
Okay.
Before I decided it's too much.
20.
Let's see here. Nice. All right, so you're kind of like you're making your trying to make this thing open, and then you get to a point where the mechanism seems like it might give way, and then your tool breaks. And you kick the door, and then the last bit of the tumbler falls, and it opens. Briz, you are able to step out. And what you can see is there are 3 other doors here. There is a very angry Vesk who you do not recognize banging at the corner of one. And what is Zozok doing right now?
I think Zozok is standing, observing his wound on his hand and probably trying to make sense of the voices that he heard. I think he would have recognized the accent from Absalom Station. So he probably feels like there's someone familiar around, but he's so disoriented still, and he's curious about this wound.
Okay. So if you do inspect the other hatches, there is a human in there who seems to be looking at his hand. There's a guy wearing, I guess, a cowboy hat who pokes his head and looks in at you, Zozok. And then that middle one seems to be empty, the one that was immediately adjacent to you. And then at the bottom, there's a very angry-looking Vesk. And so Voldan, you're there, and then the hell? Apparently, there is a cowboy.
I think I make the friendly face where I show my teeth. Let me out of here.
And for those who are not familiar with the Starfinder setting, the Vesk are not, they have an empire or a political unit called the Veskarium that is very militaristic in a kind of Klingon next generation type way, but they are not themselves on an individual basis dangerous. Any given Vesk can be a different type of person. So what appears to be the case is there are little flashing lights on the outside of this that seem to be the way to open these. Again, these types of capsules are fairly standardized so that you avoid the situation of someone trying to save someone and not figure a way of getting them out.
Have we got any equipment? Are we...
Everything that's on your character sheet is on you.
Okay, so we still got armor, weapons, and such. Okay. I just want to, before I trust letting these...
There was something flashing there. The environmental seals and environmental systems are malfunctioning on all of your armor.
Oh, okay.
Normally, in Starfinder, even at starting at first level, you can hit a button, it'll seal you up in fully encased armor. That has a minimum of 1 day of like life and whatnot, or not life, air and whatnot. That seems to be malfunctioning on all of your all of your armors.
Okay.
So sorry, I interrupted you though, Darren. What were you saying?
No, I was just, before I decide whether I want to let these out, I want to sort of have a look around the room and try and work out, is this a prison that we're in, or
it wouldn't be the first time for you.
Is there
they don't
any
even know
sort
that, but
yeah,
looking
is there
around,
any signs?
it's curious. What the hell? There's not. What you can tell is there seems to be 15 feet directly up. There is maybe a hatch or some other thing, because there's one big circle. Then there are two smaller circles that are recessed in the ceiling, and then there are the lights that offer a great deal of illumination in this room. Would you give us a perception check, please? I'm keeping the character sheet open so I can make sure I'm referencing the right skills this time.
Okay.
Now that's weird. Looks like two of them are turning. As if they're like rotating. Like, are they cameras? And then, unfortunately, you get your answer probably faster than you'd like, because what drops out of the ceiling, almost like being dispensed, is two of these. And let me put them on the map here for you. Those tentacles are kind of drifting down, and then you see a electricity arc at the end of one of them. And let's do this. Let me get the tokens down for you. Whoop. Where are you going? Oh, I did not bother getting this to scale. There's not going to be an actual functioning map on here, so each of the squares on here is going to be 5 feet, but you're going to have to kind of eyeball it. Ooh. Let me get my thing. I did not... I would say I thought it was more important to spend the time getting the dynamic lighting set up than it was to get the map perfectly to scale. I know there's an relatively easy way to do that, but I can never get it to quite line up. So, for those who may be furiously typing how to do that, I am aware of the weird, like, make a square to try and get the thing to resize. I can never get it to work properly for me. So, which is to say, it's a problem with me, not with the game. And let's see here. There we go. There we go. And perfect. Okay, there's 1 and 2. Oh, that's wrong character. I'm duplicating Zozok all over the place. There we go. That's what I want. All right. So would everyone click on their token, please, and click on initiative?
Can you see your tokens? I can't see anything. It's always black.
Oh, whoa. You know what? Hold up here. Do you know why? Hold up. No, you got light.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because... Hold up here. No, you should have light. Can you see now?
No.
Let me see. What's Voldan seeing? Yeah, on Voldan's token. That's weird. Let me do this. Let me try to create your token again. Boo, she disappeared. Boom. And Voldan, where are you?
Now I can see something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jamie, you can see okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so everyone click on your token, click on your, what do you call it? Click on initiative. Let me roll for, and I'm using my Starfinder dice today. Pretty exciting. All right, it says 19 for them. All right. Oop. All righty. Slow and steady, Voldan. That's what's important here. So,
Yes.
all right, so Briz, you have just seen these things drop down. Those tendrils have unspooled underneath, and there's little bits of electricity arcing on them. You need not make any rolls to gather what their intention might be. So it'll be a what is it? A swift action, minor action, I think, right? In this game. Let's see. It's a swift action to drop prone or to change grips. I think it's a swift action to hit the button to let people out. So, what that means is I think you can do one of them per round for free. On page 247, let's see. Here we go. One swift action. So all that means is, and you can trade up a minor action for a swift action. So Briz, what are you doing?
Well, seeing these drop out and seeing this roll down behind these bars, I think more than one target's a good idea. So he's just going to bang the button and
That's
then
a swift
move
action.
away.
To open it up, you still have a move and a standard. Bolt down, your door's open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move up, and I assume I can use my main action to open the door as well.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah. And I'll open
So you
this other one.
dispense. Yep, them. All right. Then it is the now I think. Do you remember, guys? Can you split your move in Starfinder? I don't think so, right? No. Okay.
All right.
So you're you got that last one open. You can move through allies' squares in Starfinder, though, so like you're not blocking his way of getting out. Okay. Now these things. Let's see. The one, they're sort of undulating, kind of like, almost like an anemone's or like jellyfish's tendrils, and then it gestures in one direction towards you, Briz. Let me get your. How about I get out of the way here? Oh, wait, 18 for both of yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to do a full attack on you. Woo. Okay. One of those is a hit. So one hits the wall and kind of discolors these perfectly white, sterile walls. And the one that hits you, you take 4 points of damage. Nice. And you know from the feeling, so it goes from your blue bar, and you know from the hit of this has the feeling of a stun weapon. As with the insides of a prison, you have a passing acquaintance with being targeted with stun weapons into unconsciousness. Voldan, this one seems to, that top portion where that little blue beam is, it's like a searchlight almost, and the top of the saucer kind of switches around towards you. The blue beam kind of runs across you, and then it unleashes 2 shots at you as well, neither of which come close. You, even though you may not know where you are, their intention is clear, so even though the door is open, you duck behind. They hit the ground behind you. Sozok, what are you doing?
Wow, Sozok is going to pull out his tactical pistol and take a shot at the one that's in his vision. This one here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Full attack.
So you had to draw the weapon, so you can't do a full attack.
Okay.
Because I don't think Zozok's got quick draw. Okay. That is a hit, though. All right. It is a pretty tough shell in this thing, though. So you hit that, and there's some garbled... it's a language, but also through some kind of weird digitized filter. Suffice it to say, you don't understand it. Voldan, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's obvious. I mean, I think I'm just going there, hoping that my hammer... Does the hammer still has this rune that it can fly into my hand?
Yes, yeah, you got the electric, whatever.
Yeah. I can't move my token out of the cell, so it's locked or something.
There you go. Yeah, this is it's something. We're using transparent walls for this. It's a feature in Roll20 I haven't used yet. So if you need to make wall windows or whatnot, people can see through but not move through.
Yeah. So I think then you see a Vesp with a mighty hammer just smashing at this thing.
Okay.
And well, let's see.
Even though it's 10 feet up, I think you can leap and kind of try and get this thing out of the air.
Yeah, it's only 3 feet above me, so I think I can hit it.
Yes.
So where is my weapon?
Oh, I think I renamed it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. It still has exactly the same stats and whatnot.
Yeah. So it's a sword hammer. Everything's fine. So let's see.
That is a solid hit. All right. Look at that. Boom. That's with a 1 on damage too. Holy Dinah. All right. Then it is top of the round. Briz, what are you doing? Seems like good call. These two guys have gone directly into action.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I'm gonna quickly draw my weapon.
Yep.
So I'll
so that is a free action for you because you're quick draw.
Yep. And then I'm gonna fire a couple of shots, obviously towards this nearest one that.
Okay. So a couple things you can do. You can make your multiple attacks as anyone can do. But you also have that trick attack. You'd make an acrobatics check. You'd describe some nifty acrobatics thing you do. If you beat a DC 20, you can, when you hit the thing, you'll do an extra 1d8 damage. But it's a full round action then.
I'm going to take 2 shots.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This time. Not liking getting too close to it at this stage.
Anna agrees. Oh, so those are not great. Neither of those is going to hit. You want to spend resolve point and reroll?
Yeah, why not? Let's just go for that again.
Put some extra effort in there. Okay, so one of those hits, and the electricity from your gun plays across the surface of this thing, and there's little pops and hisses, as if that... is it vulnerable to static? I wonder. It is vulnerable to critical hits and electricity. I think you might do extra damage here. Hold on. Vulnerable. I can't remember how vulnerable works in this game because it works differently in every game. Fortunately, extra 50% damage. It's right at the back. So that's actually 10 points of damage. Look at this. There's an extra pop. This thing's barely functioning still. All right, then on their turn, this thing is very unhappy with you, Briz. So again, unleashes 2 shots at you. Ooh, one of those hits. One of them narrowly misses you, singes your beard. You take 4 points of damage from your hit. And then Voldan, the electricity on these things just changes slightly. So it seems to be a little hotter. And it is going to try and... it'll just do one slam on you, I think. Actually, I'll do something different. It is going to... the hover equivalent of step back, so it moves... So it's back one here. And then you hear one of the little, like, slots at the top there. It opens up, and this disc shoots out. Let me see if it hits. I think that's a miss. Yeah, so that's a miss. So it... oh, it's 10 feet. I need you to give us a DC 10 reflex save. This thing spools down, and when it hits the square behind you, it explodes out with all this like sticky... Not 20, beautiful. I'll actually let you position yourself 5 feet away. The thing ended right there, and it's basically filled this whole area here with like a trapping liquid.
Maybe here or maybe there. If it goes there, then
yeah, either way you want is fine by me.
Yeah, no, that's okay here.
Okay,
closer to the wall.
So you leap over there. All right, Zozox, that's a second non-lethal munition that's been used. Zozox, what are you doing?
Zozok is going to take another attack on this one. He's
Go right
just
ahead.
gonna see if he can drop it.
Okay.
Second.
Let's see here. Casey, both of those are hits, but with the first one is all you need to down it.
Nice.
And is that my initiative tracker? Of course, it's my initiative tracker. There you go. All right. Then it is... Is the step a thing in Starfinder, or do you have to spend a move action to do it? I think it's a...
A 5 feet step is a move normally.
Right. It's not a free step like in third. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it is a Voldan's turn once again. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think now that's in close range, I can just use my hammer twice.
Okay.
It's come on.
Nat 20. What does it look like as you smash this thing to bits?
I mean, it has this target area, this blue thing, and just hitting it as hard as possible there should do the job, I suppose.
So this thing hits the ground, you know, like in films when like a hubcap comes off and if the camera follows it, there's that like yang, 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 yang. That's precisely what you hear on the far side of the room where you are, Briz, as he smashes this thing down and destroys it. With that, I'm just going to move you out, Zozox, so you're free of the door. With that down, you seem to be alone, although, Briz, the ceiling looks the same as it did before. Where those circles are. So, you all look at one another. Now, Zozok and Voldan, you can see one another. Neither of you recognizes the other either. And then, Zozok, it's your dominant hand where that thing is imprinted, so, like, it's fucking hurting thanks to you having to use your gun.
Yeah, I think it's stinging, and he can't help himself but kind of squeeze his hand and almost show the wound, you know?
So when you do that, it actually opens. If you apply any kind of pressure to try and rub it, those sutures open up. You're like, what the? And that's strange. There is a small data chip that's inside a hermetic. Like you would expect blood or pus or something to come out, and it's not. There is a bit of what smells like antiseptic fluid or sterile fluid in which this little data chip is embedded. This is the kind of thing you can plug into, I mean, the wrist computer you've got on your armor, even.
Wow. Well,
So,
with
Briz,
that,
you would see this happen. Voldan, do you think you would have... What are you paying attention to right now?
I'm looking at the door. I wonder why those guys are just standing there.
Okay.
What are we doing here? Why aren't we leaving?
So, Briz, that's weird. You just saw this guy pull a small little data chip out of his hand, it seems. He seems as surprised as you are.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys did to get yourselves into this mess, but it looks like you might have an answer there. Let's have a look at that.
I think we should. He'll try to insert it into the reader.
Yeah, fits in just fine. And again, each of you has that kind of message or that marking message that's flashing up in sort of your peripheral saying that the environmental systems are down. But what happens is first Zozok, it seems as if it's immediately, there's a little like flurry of text in your, kind of in your vision. And then it begins playing something. Each of you can hear a strange song being carried over a shared comm link between all of your armors. And that's the kind of thing you normally, unless you leave all channels open, it's something you set up with a team beforehand. And, oh boy, with that, you get very drowsy. You don't fall, or at the very least, you don't remember falling. But where you find yourself is in a room very much like this. Now, all three of you have the same last recollection that we described. Leaving Suskalon, leaving Necondus, arriving at the Burning Archipelago. But unlike when, where we first saw you a moment ago, here, this is not a direct depiction. I couldn't find something that was direct yet, but I want you to picture something this bright and uncomfortably sterile. There are very basic white beds with white sheets that you are each lying on. You have none of your gear, and instead each of you is wearing what seems to be standardized jumpsuits. However, for one, you're not alone. It looks like there's about a little more than 20 individuals in here, and they're all dressed in the same style of jumpsuit, but in different colors. You get up and look around. It's not warm or cold. It's an uncomfortable, almost unnerving temperature in here, and you have the overwhelming feeling of being watched. You cannot place where those eyes might be coming from. None of you recognize one another, and looking across the view, you don't recognize anyone within there. Standing next to you, Zozok, there is a Bolida. Now, he's not wielding a weapon or having any armor. They're a very distinctive kind of species. The Bolida turns to you wearing a different colored, I think each of you is wearing a navy blue jumpsuit. The Bolida is wearing a kind of off-color, maybe orangish ochre color. He looks at you, Zozok, and says, "Where are we?"
I know not.
What? Do you recognize anyone here? I don't recognize any of you.
No one. I've seen your kind, but I don't know these faces.
And I yours. I recognize all the species from here. Dwarfs, a Lashuta, Kasathan, Vesk. Who are these people?
You also see a curious, I can't remember the name of the species, but effectively it looks like a humanoid tortoise type. That one looks a little familiar to you. Voldan in particular. Why is it? But it isn't Voldan. That isn't the one that necessarily draws your eyes. You could swear you recognize that face. There's someone else who catches your eye, Voldan, and that is largely because they seem to be staring directly at you. And they have... That is
Oh, no.
a Skittermander. He has a look on his face of knowing. And if you hold your eye contact with him, he's wearing, not like he is in the illustration with all the gear and whatnot, he instead has a, kind of like maybe a greenish, like a light greenish jumpsuit on, very close to the color of his thing. There's a couple of people who are getting up and beginning to sort of drift together with people wearing the same colored jumpsuits, and you guys are not set all together. You're staggered in here, but you're able to pick one another out. But when you make his eye contact, he looks over, like very conspicuously, the eyebrows and whatnot that a Skittermander has allows them a great deal of emphatic expression. Looks over at the human in a navy jumpsuit with the... he seems to be grabbing his head, almost as if he's missing something. And there is another human who has what looks to be a scowl that they were born with and have carried with them for as long as they have walked. And then he gestures with his head to a corner. He turns and walks away.
So I follow him because there's never in the universe has any harm come from Skittermanders. So, I mean...
So you make your way over. He looks over, and he, as he sees you're coming over alone, he stops and it's like, oof, and shakes his head. And he gestures with his eyebrows towards the one human in the navy jumpsuit with a beard, and then gestures towards the other one who is wearing a scowl in a navy jumpsuit.
Anyone you know?
He looks...
I don't know how we've gone through this before. Well, Dan, get your friends.
Okay. So, do I know you?
He looks up.
You won't now. Do it quick. We haven't much time.
Okay. So, I don't know who my friends are, actually.
So if you look around, you see there is a human with a beard wearing a same colored jumpsuit as you. And there's two humans who are wearing the same colored jumpsuit, and they're the only ones who are wearing the same colors that you are.
Okay, so I just gesture them over. So maybe.
So Briz and
maybe
Zozok,
we are supposed to fight in teams or something like that.
Wherever your mind's at in this moment, you look over and there is a Vesk wearing the same colored jumpsuit that you guys are, standing next to a Skittermander, and Skittermanders are about 3 feet tall. So, you know, it's a quite noticeable height difference between the two. But the Vesk is gesturing for you to come over.
I just whisper down. So we are supposed to fight them in teams, yes?
That's what they want, yes.
Briz and Zozok, what do you guys do?
Well, seeing the others grouping up, are they sort of similar numbers? The colors?
They're sort of going that way. There are two, looks like there's groups of 3 of everybody here.
Okay.
And it seems like there are 2 others in a matching jumpsuit to the Skittermander, but he's not going with them. He's talking to somebody in blue. There's no one telling anyone to do anything like that, and not everyone is necessarily. One thing that is unusual, everyone seems to be keeping their head. No one's flipping out. No one's, losing their mind over, where they are. Let's see here. I think, would you each give us a perception check, please? Nice. Here's the thing. every single one of you knows yourself well enough in situations of stress. You are taking this a hell of a lot better than what you should be. And Voldan with that nat 20, and actually Zozok with that incredibly high roll too, you are fairly confident that you are medicated. You must have some kind of... Soldiers at times will take a kind of, at least the Veskarium will outfit soldiers with combat drugs. Some of it is kind of like speed, where it just gets you all jacked up and stuff. And some stuff is just to keep, you know, to keep your head, to keep you calm, keep you steady. You recognize this feeling, Voldan. Like, you've likely had this... I know you're not part of the Veskarium, but, you know, you're peripheral to Vesk culture, and even then, it'd be something you're familiar with as a former mercenary. So, the three of you collect together, and this Skittermander looks up and says, I don't have much time. He points at Briz. You're Brisbane, you're Voldan, you're Zozok. Don't ask why, we don't have time. We're going to be exercising soon, and then they're going to put us down again. I'm Omen. Omen KC7s. And when he says that, you guys can each give us a culture check if you'd like. So it's only Briz who's peripheral. That name rings a familiar to you, but you're not really much into holo games, I guess. But you seem to remember KC7s is a kind of a legendary game designer as far as for the holographic or interactive games are concerned in the Pact Worlds. And Omen says because you make that connection, you're like, is this a game? What do or say?
Yeah, thinking this might be some sort of virtual reality weird thing. I'm just gonna sort of like test the wall, sort of fairly casually. I'm not sort of freaking out, and
okay,
but you know, just sort of cautiously lean against the wall to see if there's anything there.
Omen shakes his head.
Every time, Brisbane. This is in virtual reality. Try and remember this time.
Yeah, Neil, just have a puzzled expression on this. So you seem to know so much. What's going to happen next?
What's going to happen next? We're going to exercise. We're going to eat. And then they're going to gas us again. And then we'll do the same thing we've been doing for months now. Go, run their exercises. And then repeat this.
But how often have we tried to break out?
As far as I can remember, it's been at least a month's worth.
How comes you remember?
If you're going to play a game on someone, don't do it on a game designer.
Anyone trained in medicine?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, me too, strangely.
Why don't you each give us a medicine check, please? Not great. Okay. So, Briz, you're the one who... Yeah, when he mentions that, you're bringing back, and someone's done a really good job of applying, like, almost top-end medicine to you. You don't remember at any point breaking your right hand. But there's just something off about it. As if someone used magic or advanced technology to heal an injury in there. But it doesn't feel right. With your trigger finger and whatnot, you know when something feels right. And boy, you don't remember it. But it's almost like you have a gut or like an instinctive level down to the nerves of having that hand blown apart by something. None of the others you can pick up any broken bones or anything like that, but You definitely, Briz, can tell that at some point something happened to your hand, something was done to correct it, but it's not quite back to what it was.
Yeah, the others will see him sort of flexing his fingers and sort of as if it don't quite feel right or there's something not quite normal.
We don't have much time.
So how do we win the game then?
The same way you do on any rigged game. Change the rules. Now, I'm not, he looks at you, a soldier. I'm not a wizard. I'm not a gunslinger. But I know how to plan. When you go through, next time, I'm going to hope you're clever enough to find something we're going to implant here. If you find that, remember 2 things. Find what's in each of the labs. 1 will allow you to open the access to the game area. And 1 will allow you to take the limiters off of your weapons. It's not a perfect plan, but it'll give you quite literally a fighting chance. Or forget we talked about this again. We'll go on living whatever we're doing. What do you say?
This doesn't feel like living to me.
Almost like it's a facsimile, hey?
Well, if it is a game, then we've got nothing to lose. If you're telling the truth, then maybe we can get ourselves out of this mess. Either way, we've got to give it a try.
I think fighting is never wrong, so...
That's the spirit. Let's hope it works this time. And he looks around, brings you down. He jams something that hurts into your hand for a moment, Zozok. He works his second set of arms, does something on there to shake your hand, as if he's like, you know, double or tripling or quadrupling up on it. Good luck next time.
And at that, there's a sound, and the beds all slide back into the wall, revealing treadmills. Little guardrails come up for everyone to go, and there's a nondescript voice in BASIC that says, "Exercise." And then... we are back. And you realize, looking at one another, not a second has passed. Whatever that music was, it triggered a subconscious memory of some kind. Whether it's magical or technological or a combination of those two, you have full recollection of your meeting with Omen KC7s. What do you guys wish to do now?
Inspect the empty pot. So go there, see if there's something hidden in there.
Okay. In the pod, you can give us a... well, what's your perception bonus?
+1.
+1. Yeah, okay. That high. That's awesome. So you're doing a fairly careful look over, by which I mean you're kicking shit open, you're knocking stuff over. It's a Vuldan search.
Yeah.
And as far as you can tell, there's nothing. Riz and Zozok, what are you guys doing during this?
I'm covering the door. So is there any windows out of the door? Any sort of...
There isn't, no. But there does appear to be... let's see here. So you keep looking up above, and there's those 2 discs above which seem to dispense those saucer bots. There's a big central area that looks like a hatch of some kind, and these doors themselves, in order to get these things open, they're pretty heavy. Let's see. And there is flashing purple lights that run along the outskirts of the door. There is a, let's see here. There does appear to be a panel to the right that has some flashing symbols on it that none of you necessarily recognize, but you can give us a culture, or at least you can't understand, but you can give us a culture check. Briz, you're the one closest there. If you want to start with you, let's see what your culture check does. Not great. You want to resolve that, or you want to give someone else, ask and see if anyone else has a clue?
No. Yeah, I'll ask one of the others.
Okay.
Anyone got any ideas about this control pad?
Can we smash it?
Take a look.
Volden has no clue, but it does look like it's smashable.
Zozok will take a look.
Okay. Not sure. No. Does anyone wish to... That was a bad roll from you. It was a not terrible roll from Volden. Zozok, you want to resolve that?
Yeah. Let me use a resolve point here. And
there you go. All right. So looking at this thing, you can see that every symbol can be made by one five-fingered hand with an opposable thumb, part of a specific glyph system based on sign language. Whatever the displays are here, it seems as if it is some kind of like code, more so than it is an alphabet. So it does seem like this is the code to open the door. Anyone can give us a computers or engineering check to try and get it open the way it's designed to open, or we can let the Vesk have his go.
So I have this wonderful engineering tool, and I
I'm not as gifted with engineering and computers. I'll look at Briz.
Nah, this ain't really my thing. But I am a little bit concerned that might be alarmed as I'm looking around with this light.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up at the ceiling to what might be some sort of vent or something.
Yeah, give us a perception check, please. Let's see how much of what you can pick up in here. That's pretty good. Above you, you can't really make out anything apart from, what appears to be a dispenser of the saucer droids or saucer bots. And there's that strange looking, hatch or whatever it is in the ceiling. But what is definitely the case is if you look at the top the arch on these doors, pretty sure there's a camera that's looking at you. What would you guys like to do?
Well,
looks like we're being watched. I don't know if they can hear us.
Yeah. I think standing here won't do anything good. So, so we need to go through this door. Everyone agrees?
What if we simultaneously take out the camera as we try and get through the door?
Yeah.
How many cameras were there?
For what you could see, one.
Just the one. Okay. Well, as Volden walks towards the door, I'm going to try and shoot the camera.
Okay. Go ahead and give us just a single attack roll.
I'll use the static pistol in case even if I miss, it might sort of
Yeah.
do a little bit of almost area effect.
Okay. Yeah. You hit the thing. There's a pop, and you think that the lens pops out. You're alone. And then Voldan, what are you planning on doing?
Yeah, I think I would just hit it with the hammer. Come on. So I imagine that this is a door. So hitting it hard enough should open it anyways. So.
Sorry, the door or the pad?
No, I think the pad wouldn't work necessarily, or
Okay.
I think I would go for the door. This pad.
These are airlock quality doors, I should say.
Oh yeah, then. Yeah, I look a little bit helpless right now. So I think this is an airlock. None of you wants to try this nimble way.
I will try. With some reluctance, Zozak will take a look at the pad and see if he can replicate the code pattern.
Sure. Sure, then let's make that... that's probably culture again. Or sleight of hand. If someone's better... How's Briz at sleight of hand?
Yeah, that's his thing. Sleight of hand.
So if you want to... Maybe you see Zozak getting up there and trying to, like... replicate something, and I think if Zozak just gives you kind of like some instruction on what to do, you'll be in a much better position to try and get this thing open.
Yeah, make way, my friend. This is something I'll be able to do.
Okay.
Please do.
Go ahead and give us a sleight of hand check, please. Look at that. Just almost like he goes up, he's about to do it, he then spins around, looks at you guys, and as he's looking at you guys, locking eye contact, touches the door. And... yeah, there we go. There is what is obviously a section between two airlocks. I think with that good of a sleight of hand roll, you've got committed to memory what you need to do for your sleight of hand. If you want to try just replicating what you just did.
Yeah.
Amazing, I see.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at the next set of doors. It's exactly the same sort of control.
Looks like it's the same, and there's the same thing. There's the purple lights that are going around. Two. Lights are on as soon as you open up the door. Seems like you could. You may need to step in and have that door sealed behind you if these are true airlocks.
I look back. I think we're committed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'll wave Voldan in and then try it again.
Okay. Voldan. Briz, you move your hands over that same door, or in the same manner in which you did last time, and then it opens up. This octagonal chamber is made of dull metal plates. Several flickering purple lights and 5 small inverted pyramids 3 to 4 inches across are set into the ceiling. The grates comprising the floor have been secured with heavy octagonal bolts. Each of the 8 walls has a single alcove that holds a 3-foot diameter fan protected by a series of bars. Double airlock doors are set in the walls across from you. You guys can give us, I think, an engineering or I think our culture, engineering is going to be a lower difficulty. Culture might be a little higher. And if you got any profession that relates to like criminal stuff or military, you could roll those as well.
Yeah.
You want to
really familiar with this stuff, yeah.
yes, nat 20 from Zozok though. Holy smokes! So Zozok, what you look up, and you know precisely what this says. Those fans, that is to facilitate the easy distribution of anesthetizing gas. Oh, sorry, of decontamination. This is not a prison kind of thing. This is almost like a medical quarter. This is what you would pass through to make sure that when you're going from either this chamber to the left or to the right, that you don't bring any contaminants with you. Which is to say, when that closes and when the door that you just opened closes and they run the decom procedure, it's going to be very unpleasant without environmental protections.
So Zok will point up to the apparatus and say, "It looks like they want to rinse us off, gentlemen. May not be the most pleasant of baths."
So
before
is it clubbable? So, I mean, can we reach it, the dispenser, or is it one dispenser or from each wall?
Each of the alcoves has a fan that is set in a recess behind bars.
Yeah. So I don't think we can stop it from doing its thing. We can maybe block the door so this one does not close, and
could do that. I think you know that these are designed to only open. They're hardwired, not necessarily hardwired. Like if it was some impressive computer work. What's everyone's computer scores like?
oh,
Nah.
So it seems that option is off the table. So it is actually a relatively, one of the upsides is as you know, Voldan has learned over his many years, it's much easier to break shit than it is to fix stuff. So the engineering check to disable these things is going to be lower. You just need to make sure the door does not close before you disable all of them.
What about the remains of one of them robots? Maybe we could leave it in the doorway so the door can't shut. And if the door don't
you
shut,
would not be able to open the other door then.
Yeah. So
that's the hardwired thing.
Yeah,
Like you could likely hack it and try and get it to set that aside. But like, as far as decom chambers are, that's like sort of rule one, right? Like if only one of the doors can be open at a time. If nothing else, then.
What about, I like the idea of the robots almost using it like an umbrella to try to deflect and keep the spray off of us if it was large enough to hold over our heads collectively.
The thing is, the reason there's fans in here is so that it zoops up and under, like it'll get into fucking everything. You're right to be thinking in the vein of like countermeasures, because that's definitely possible. But with the disabled environmental or the damaged environmental features on your armor, that's not going to protect you in and of itself. It's not necessarily lethal. It's just going to be extremely unpleasant to get. You know, space industrial decontaminant in every nook and cranny.
I mean, if I just lean out and I just for trying, just try to hit the fan and see, or this kind of steel grate before the fan.
Yeah.
If it dents in, so.
Sure. Give us a swing. Let's see here. What we do? Let's use I think athletics, please.
Athletics, yeah, that seems fine. So 24.
Okay, so you get out and whang! Yeah, you're able to break back the bar pretty well on that.
Okay. So, I mean, I could break one after the other, and I don't know when it will start filling in this gas thing.
Probably won't function until the door closes. So long as that door stays open,
I think I will just start now and just breaking the first one.
Well, you can't leave it half broken. Swang, 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 smashing away. So Voldan, why don't you give us, let's just say 2 more athletics checks. Let's give a idea of how your task goes. Nat 20. You know what?
Nice.
We don't need another one. You've answered whatever questions I have as to your fitness. So, if nothing else, Voldan, you have a task ahead of you that you were able to complete with a great deal of, well, does not seem that a single one of these fans or vents is going to be working properly. So what it likely means is there still will be a decontaminant that is going to be dispensed here, but without the fans functioning, it's not going to fill the entire place up with mist and get into everywhere. So a sufficient, putting your hand over your mouth is going to be sufficient to prevent yourself from getting, this shit in your eyes and nose and ears and all your crevices. So with the last one done, what does Voldan say?
Yeah. So, and does any one of you know how to open the door now?
Looks like it's the same process.
I'll give it another try once we're all in the room.
Okay. So, everyone in the room. Let's see here.
Try not to stand directly under these dispensers, wherever they are.
Okay. Then you hit the button, and there are flashing, alternating yellow and purple lights, those little recessed inverted pyramids in the ceiling, boom, 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 begin flashing, and you can hear the of something in the wall dispensing this greenish or yellowish, I'm sorry, liquid, but it doesn't seem to be, like when a nozzle is kind of jammed and it kind of like spits out a little bit. That's what you're seeing instead of it filling up this entire chamber. So thanks to Voldan's monkey wrenching, you guys are not, I know, bad joke, and you're not affected by the stuff whatsoever. And after it finishes cycling, the door opens up once again, revealing yet another of those doors. Anna says, "Don't go." Oh no, she's warning you. No, too late. It's too late for them, Anna.
No turning back, Anna.
Yeah. Closes behind you. And then... Now, let's talk about what you see before you. Wires, tubes, and bits of complex machinery hang from broken panels in the ceiling, swaying in falling dust and streams of thin vapor issuing from some of the open pipes. Scattered view screens cover many walls, and stations made up of chairs and computer terminals occupy much of the room's center. Sparks of electricity issue from deep cracks in the ceilings and north wall. The heavy airlocked double door behind you is closed, but it looks as if there are sliding panel doors in the north and south, right here and here. You guys each give us a culture check, please. The layout of this technology and the colors you've seen thus far, the language you've seen thus far, none of this is anything you recognize. I mean, Voldan, it's usually quite a surprise for you.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
I think we should make our way in and inspect those workstations.
Yeah, we are looking for something. Yeah, remember there was something hidden for us.
Okay. Would... Okay, so once you take a step in here... Briz, looks like you moved furthest forward. You can see that there are 3 bodies lying underneath the area here. Right here, right here, and right under here. And they are badly charred. Humanoid, human-sized. The head is a little larger, but there's horrific burns across every surface of the body. And not burns like you've seen from fires. Briz, Zozok, and Volden, would you each pick one of engineering, physical science, piloting, or any profession relating to like the military or space travel? Any of those options, go ahead and give us a... Wow. Briz, you've seen a corrosive leak before. And this mist that's hanging in the air here has got to be acid. You got to get the fuck out of here before you guys start hurting.
Yeah, as soon as I see that, I'm going to run over to this north door and try and open it, basically.
Okay.
Slide it.
Let's see here. You take 4 points of damage this round. Zozok, 3 points. Voldan, 3 points off your blue bar.
Stamina, yeah.
Yeah, stamina points, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go racing over to the door. This has that similar marking on it, where it's kind of the drifting symbols and whatnot going around.
It's got a control pad.
Yeah. If you want to try again, the only reason I want to make your roll is because you're in a bit of a high stress situation. Give us another sleight of hands check.
Okay.
Oh, cheapers. Easily.
We gotta get out of here, quick.
And then... open.
And I'll just go in regardless.
Okay. Voldan and Zozok?
Following.
Okay. All right. Now, what you have in here? Did I load an image?
I'll shut the door behind us as well to reduce the stuff coming through.
Okay. Yeah, not a bad. That's a good plan. Go. All right. Now, what you see in here is, oh, boy, I wish I had loaded it. I will show you the illustration. This is because it's a cool one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the description, apologies for those listening at home, I forgot to load this image in. In here, the wide corridor runs east to west with one door that you guys just came through, and then 2 evenly spaced on its northern wall. Panels, tubes, strangely shaped metal boxes, and thick cables cover the southern wall. Bright red lines make complex circuit-like patterns on the north wall. The ceiling is dull gray stone riddled with cracks, and dust drifts down from the fissures. An enormous chunk of rock sits in the western edge of the corridor beneath a gap of similar size in the ceiling. Seems there will be no perception checks needed to figure out where this rock has come from. What's going on here? And what are you guys doing next?
Left or right?
Where's this rock come from? I just look up. I mean, is it just like darkness and the hole it come through?
Would you give us a perception? Actually, everyone, perception check, please.
I have low light vision, if that makes any difference.
It's still brightly lit in here, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. Not unfortunately, I mean, it's fortunate for you. Look at that. Okay, so Briz and Voldan, you will be able to act this round. So, would you kindly click on your token? Go ahead and click on it. Hold on, I'm going to switch out our music here to something different. This is kind of driving me nuts. What's this? Ooh, that'll work. That is way too loud. Hold up. All right, there we go. Okay, sorry. Click on your token and go ahead and click on initiative. Zozok, you can still roll initiative. You will not be acting this round.
Okay.
Just need to grab something. That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm looking up, a prize for you guys. It's usually the way these things go, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It was the attack of the prizes, right?
Exactly. Sounds exceptional. We got a lot of stuff, you know. Okay. Allow me to show you what is going to come. Oh, let me roll its initiative first. Here. I was going to make use of my Alien Archive cards for today, and then I realized afterwards, I'm like, what I'm doing is, it's not substantially harder just using the Alien Archive books themselves, and I'd be making work for myself to put them all away afterwards, so I lazily decided to not justify a purchase. Okay, so this will be acting after... Actually, you know what? The two who are acting this run will be acting before this thing, so let me show you what is surging out from between that little gap on the south side between the wall and the rock. Turns out what's in a rock in a hard place, it is... There we go. Pile of killer metal goo. You know those carbon particle kind of things where it's like it moves along and it all seems to be a glommed part of goo, but it all is obviously made up of different separate things. That is what is angrily pulsing towards you.
Why do they always put these things in here?
I love the monsters in Starfinder. A very close competitor to my favorite dragon of all time, the Fang Dragon, is the Radiation Dragon from Starfinder, because it is a very closely veiled, Godzilla, but still, it looks pretty fucking cool. Oh, the monsters are great in this game. All right, so this thing is oozing its way towards you. However, it is quite slow. So it is only acting on a 13. So, Briz, this thing is moving, and I think the it's not quite like the sound of liquid moving. It's not quite like the sound of metal moving on metal. It's some really unnerving and disturbing sound. This thing moving like it shouldn't move in that direction. It should pick a substance and be that instead of this ferrofluid that is now oozing towards you. Briz, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm going to try and do a trick attack this round.
Okay.
First thing I'll do, is quick draw.
Would you first... Yes, get your gun out. I'm okay with you guys if you guys think you would be walking along with your weapons out and ready, that is a reasonable reaction, I think. So I'm okay with them being out, unless you feel like you'd want your hands free, just in case.
I mean, I'd probably have my hands free because I know I'm quick enough to draw a pistol if I need to.
It's showing up. It's in my hand. It's on. It's in my hand. It's gone. It's in my hand. It's gone. Okay, so would you... so give us... first thing I need you to do is, as you yank your gun out, would you give us a strength check, please?
Right.
Okay. There's something very weird. You bring your weapon out, and there must be some kind of... It's almost like, you know, when you try and force powerful magnets together? Something's coming off of this creature that is trying to throw off your aim. You're strong enough, it hasn't affected you. But there's something weird going on with it. Then, go ahead and give us a... I think it's... Might be only acrobatics or acrobatics sleight of hand? I can't remember. Hey, George is in chat, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't remember what he does. Maybe George can tell us. I can't remember how his... which skill.
It says just before you make an attack, attempt a bluff, intimidate, or stealth check.
Perfect. So pick one of those things and go ahead. Nat 20. Beautiful. Go ahead. So you go ahead and give us your attack. You'll do plus 1d8 damage on it.
Okay. I'm basically going to just use
and you
this
hit, which means it's going to be flat-footed against everyone else.
Cool. So, yeah, I'll make a normal attack and then roll the trick thing afterwards, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice shot. So 7 damage, and go ahead and get... Oh, I didn't put the hit points in. Go ahead and roll your damage, and then... I'm going to turn this music down. I think this is probably too loud.
Ugh.
How'd you do? 8 points of damage. All right. There we go. All right. Let me make sure it's got no immunities. Oh, it's got immunities. Hold on here. Or should I say ooze immunities? Boo. Boo, Kev. Boo.
What's the F category for weapon damage? What's that?
Fire.
Fire.
Okay, so no, it's still affected fully by that. That's amazing. Okay. Okay. So what you find is as that hits it, hold on. Sorry, it doesn't seem to do quite as much. The thing hits it, and then I think that the light diffuses in some ways, so it just dissipates the damage by this thing. It just doesn't seem to be. It's made of so many little parts. It's the energy is kind of sent out. Voldan, what are you doing?
Is it possible to reach it with, like, my claws?
If you get into melee with it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't know if I can squeeze in through the rock and the hard wall, like there.
That way, no. Around the other side, I think so. And what I'd say is that, like, it won't get an attack of opportunity on you. I can't remember if you moving along gives you attacks of opportunity in Starfinder, but if they do,
it would, yeah.
It will not have, because it's not going to have line of sight.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So you slash around the other side, and go ahead.
Yeah. So I would use my claws, and that would be. It says bludgeoning, but it should be. It should actually be piercing, I suppose. But I will attack anyways.
Go right ahead.
Let's see.
Yeah. Nat 20, baby! Look at that. Holy shit. So, Voldan, with that, so you guys are about to see this thing surge in. Voldan races over and just tackles in, digs his claws in, and violently rips this thing apart, and so much so that it just hits the ground, and it's little pieces. Unrelated now.
I hate these things.
And Zozok, that whole 6 seconds, you were just like, what's going on? So.
Yeah. I think I would probably just whisper to Zozok, I think we should keep on the right side of him.
So what do you guys wish to do next?
Similar control pads on the doors.
On these, bear with me 2 moments here.
Just tell me, there is this human proverb, something is hidden under a rock. So do we have to look under the rock?
That will be a challenging prospect, even for one as mighty as you. All right, let's see here. Okay, so looking at the red patterns on this wall, there's definitely doors here. How do you get them to open? Those purple panels that are behind you that have been on those airlocks, this is a bit more tricky. I guess your mind might even go back to Omen's reference to it being a game. So, studying these intricate designs around you, what you guys do?
Do the designs on both doors look similar, or do they look distinctly different?
The doors, the designs on around both doors, there are differences between the two, but it is difficult to tell.
Okay.
And this is it like light, this red patterning?
Yeah.
Is it like?
It's that subtle right, like red. The red spectrum doesn't carry as well, so it kind of it has a glow to it, but it's not as bright as what you'd expect if it was like white light.
Okay. And they're sort of airlock type sort of quality doors again. We don't think
These are lighter doors. Now they're not. These ones are not airlock quality. They are panel doors. You might be able to smash them down, but it does. There seems to be some intention here with this.
So, I mean, Vuldan is not the guy who would remember all the details said, but in principle, there was something about we need to find something to open the doors, wasn't there?
Yes.
He said something about the labs, right?
It weren't just me then that had that strange dream. Yeah, there was something about opening access to the game area.
Yeah. So
Some
maybe
labs.
we need to find these things first. And you're sure it is not under the rock?
Well, if it is, it ain't there anymore.
Whatever's under that rock is too flat for use.
Okay.
How high up is the ceiling? I mean, could we climb on a rock and maybe climb up and see what's in the ceiling?
You could. In here it's 15, but what you're seeing is that there's cracks. There's clearly, it looks as if there is some kind of superstructure damage that has occurred in here. Little bits of dust that kind of come down. Obviously this rock was not designed to be dispensed into the hallway. And it's exactly the size that fell through or from the hole here. If you do, you could easily scramble up there with no skill checks or anything and look. I mean, this just seems to be part of the rock. Whatever this structure is, it seems to be built into something. This is not like a piece of construction concrete or ferrocrete or whatever the Starfinder equivalent of space concrete is. This is actual rock,
Yeah.
as if it was built into something.
Let's go south. Come on.
Okay. Well, you guys wait here. I'll see if I can get that other door to the south open. There's no point all of us staying in that room any longer than we need to.
Now here's a moment worth. Remember, if you take 10 minutes, just catch your breath. You can spend a resolve point to regain all of your lost stamina points.
Okay.
If you wish.
So losing a bit of stamina is not that
I
really
think I might hang on
thing.
just a bit longer. If we can get it all back in one go. So I might try and get through that room first. and then hope that we can have a breather the other side. So I'm going to open this door. I suggest the guys are like ready to run across the room as soon as I get the other door open.
Okay. So would you give us a sleight of hand check once again? Actually, here there's not. Really, don't roll a 1. Good. Okay. Then. There's that yellow mist that hangs in the air here. It looks a lot more sinister now, knowing that you're going to have to.
Yeah, so I sort of tuck my clothes around my face as much as possible, bring my hat down a bit, cover my mouth, and I'll just run across to the other room.
Okay.
The other door.
So run over to the other side, and why don't you give us a sleight of hand check once again, please? This one's a little under, a little more. Ooh, not quite this time. You only take 1 point of damage from that first roll. You want to try again, please?
Yep.
Oh, does Voldan run in now? Okay, so
I never would imagine that he could fail. So.
Oh. So, Voldan, you take 4 points of damage from this.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Open it! And then, Briz, it does open on that second time, but on that second round, you take 2 more damage.
Okay.
And let me open the door for you.
And then I turn to wave them. Yeah. Turn to wave them round. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like little bits of mist coming off from where he's being burned. You're only gonna take half damage this turn, Voldan, because you're gonna be able to move right in. So you'll take 1 more damage, Voldan, as you run through it. So Zozox, you're looking over at your very either determined or perhaps less attentive colleagues.
Zozok's gonna hopefully try to time it a little better when the door opens that he starts to sprint.
Why don't you give us an athletics check? Let's just
okay.
If you can race across there, I'm just going to close the other. Yep, what am I doing here? Go. Nice. Yeah, no problem. You're going to be able to get across without burning. Okay, so you all race across, and then
close the door behind us again.
Yep. Okay. And in this room, speaking of radiation dragons, just kidding. All right. What you find in here is a blue wall. This seems very similar to where you came from in the north, with in place of the red tracings and lights and whatnot and designs marked into the wall, there is a blue one. There are no, I should say, cracks in the ceiling. The ceiling is stone in here, and this gives you some idea of what that northern corridor must have looked like before it suffered that damage. So, this has a similar thing. 2 doors, and there is no obvious way of opening them. At least not similar to what you had done before.
What's our understanding of the wiring and the cabling that's exposed in this room and the function of it?
It's a good question. Why don't you give us an engineering check, please. It seems as if that these are all mostly secondary systems. It's things for servicing like pumps or certain device. It's for running some of the guts of this structure. It's strange that they're all exposed in here, and it's strange that they were exposed in that northern corridor as well. It's almost as if part of this was prefab in design, and then there was other stuff that was added to customize it for a certain need. you wouldn't recognize necessarily the species, but like Abadar Corps supplies this kind of stuff for colonies, where you'll have basic structures and things like that. You'll set down and then you'll run cabling and whatnot on the outside to suit whatever your need happens to be, but the core structures will be easily replicable. Duplicates. This is the mobile home market of the Starfinder universe.
Is there any kind of camera in this room?
Good question. Why don't you give us a perception check?
Maybe not.
No, yeah. I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm adjusting the difficulties based on sort of what you've already known where to look before, so it's not going to be the same place, right? Or same difficulty. There are cameras set over each of the arches, and there appears to be one recessed at each corner of the room. Curiously, it seems as if someone wants to see precisely what's going on in this corridor. You did not think to look in the other, but you could make a harder perception check to try and remember what it was like.
Yeah, does any one of you remember if there were cameras in the other room?
Can I attempt to remember?
Yeah, let's attempt to remember and see if one of us saw it.
Yeah,
Holy.
Briz remembers. If there is one thing that Briz knows, when he walks in a room, he knows where security cameras are.
Yeah.
So-
You gotta know where your corners are.
Yeah, there was, some of them were damaged because of the collapsed ceiling or whatever. Similar layout. And again, it's almost as if someone wanted to take a careful look. With that Nat 20, I'll also let you know, there were cameras set in that middle one as well, where all that acid was coming down. It's a lot of surveillance for A, what's a prefab unit, and B, what seem to be just, access corridors. You need not also, make any separate roll, but it's unusual, even in Starfinder, to have different colored walls.
It's all part of their game. They're testing us.
Yeah. I heard of some games where people are tested. So, can't you open the doors? I mean, I can fight what's in there, but I can't open the doors, obviously, here.
There's no control panels.
Are these doors also panel quality or airlock quality?
They seem to be panel quality.
Okay.
You mean I could smash them?
You could try, yeah.
Yeah, come on. It's nothing happens and no one is willing to open the door, so I think I have to.
Why don't you go ahead and give us an athletics check, please?
Yeah. No.
Would you kindly
give
us a reflex save?
Yeah. There is not enough room in this thing. Wait a minute. Where's reflex there? No!
Oh, no! All right. So, Vuldan, here's one of the good things that you've learned. Your hammer, and you can file this away as an as-needed basis here, is an outstanding conductor.
Oh, really?
15 points of damage as something is triggered, and it's almost as if the entire wall was kind of pulsing and flashing, and you are stagger back and hit the wall.
Yeah, so now we know it's electrical. Open it.
All right. With that great one-liner, why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see whether Zozok or Briz are going to take up Vuldan on his his suggestion. So we'll be back momentarily. Okay. It's like 4 degrees out right now, so it's a hell of a thing. Anna did not want to come back inside.
Goodness. And that's not an April Fool's joke.
No, it's really, really nice today. This is a second session today where I haven't made any April Fool's jokes. I did try and kill the guys with a Wendigo this morning, but... All right. Jeff pitch hitted for you in your absence, Darren, playing Sasquatch.
Okay.
It was easily the most Canadian content in a adventure I've ever run before. Lots of Canadian historical Easter eggs. So, all right, then, guys, what do you wish to do next? Voldan has been thoroughly demonstrated that vests are excellent conductors of electricity.
Yeah.
They lose a little bit of power, so maybe, moderate conductors would be a way. Some of that is transmitted into burst and blood vessels and cooked muscles. What do you guys wish to do next?
Well, Briz has been pretty slick with the door so far, so Zozak might look at him to see if he's feeling up to it again. Otherwise, I could try my rather inept engineering at it.
Yeah, this time it hasn't got the control pad. That's the difference. Yeah, I mean, you can try. I mean, can they even try engineering or something? Can I try and short it out?
Well, you could try and figure out how this is going. If you want to give us an engineering check.
I'll give it a go.
Okay. So you're looking at this thing, and maybe you're looking at this the wrong way. That if this is a trick, if this is a game of some kind, maybe it's not looking for the, just a panel to access it. Maybe you need to figure out what this means, and then access it. Did anyone take a really good look at the northern wall? Because it really might be some differences between these. It's different color for sure.
Yeah. It was complicated symbols. That's all for Woodlands.
I mean,
It simply says it was red. This is blue.
I'm gonna step back and see if I can see sort of more of it at once to see if it gives a different perspective, and even go down the end of the corridor and look sort of sideways on it.
Sure.
And see if
Yep.
looking from different directions.
It's a Starfinder equivalent of a magic eye poster. Why don't you give us let's hear. Well, you know what? Why, instead of me saying, what do you think? I'll let you make a pitch if you want to try and make a pitch for something that you're strong with, rather than me just giving you a list and you making a roll. What are you thinking, Briz? And you can feel free to talk it over with your allies to try and get a benefit. I am going to give you a +2 to whatever your roll is because of your good engineering roll. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, he is very perceptive. Yeah, some of the other things he's good at, he's probably not.
Sure. Why don't you give us a perception check at +2?
Yeah, he's
See if
just
there's
going to look at
anything that,
it different
comes together here.
angles.
Yeah.
So you're looking at this stuff, and you realize that it's intermittent, and there's broken bits, but if you look at it just so, in the designs, I mean, there are, contiguous bits, but then they seem to break off, but there is an overall flow to them that actually seems to point to two different points, or two different places right near the door in different heights. One is a little lower than the waist of a human height adult, and the other one is slightly higher. One on the left side of the door, and the other on a right side of the door.
And is it like a gap where the light or the
If you go
the colour
over, are you
stops?
touching the wall?
What is there this color at that point, or is it literally just the wall at that
If you
point?
get
There's a
over there,
gap?
it seems like it's pointing to just the wall. There is an absence of it, but the overall flow of these, it seems like there is a through line that almost points in the design to where it is. It's like when you don't look at, or you don't notice that there's a certain layout in a very busy picture, and then you suddenly see like, oh, there's this, what is it, the golden ratio, where it's the spinning thing. You suddenly can recognize that it's in there. That's what you're seeing, and one seems to point to a point lower than your waist over here, and one higher than your waist over here.
Let's put your hand there. It could just,
Blank bit of the wall.
Nothing can happen.
Yeah, I try and touch.
Voldan's saying that, and smoke's coming out of his mouth. Just go ahead and do it.
I'm gonna go over here, trusting my instinct. I'm gonna just sort of touch that area.
Okay.
Just see if anything happens.
You got it. Okay. So you touch there. And then that is when all hell breaks. No, I'm kidding. Door opens. And what you see in here is some block text. Written by Owen, by the way. Flashing purple lights in the ceiling illuminate the disarray of this room. Workstations have been wrecked, cubicles damaged, chairs broken and overturned, and computer terminals smashed. Broken glass is scattered across the floor from shattered, transparent cylinders that form a jagged line down the lab's center. Each has the twisted remains of a robotic arm attached to the ceiling above it, and smashed and mangled electronics connect the arms to the bottom. 3 of the cylinders have misshapen, fleshy lumps in them. Glistening puce goo containing strips of skin and lumps of flesh form streaks across much of the floor and of the southern wall. And you can see Briz. You're looking at the goo on that one, at the bottom of that one thing, and Voldan, you look through, and some species say it's difficult to tell Vesks apart. You know, like when you're looking at one Vesk, it's hard to tell one from another. The thing about you is that you've always been able to tell humans apart. Their faces are as different as, different letters. Like, you don't know why people say, oh, humans look alike. No, they all look so different. That's what's so weird about them. I mean, you would never say that, how ugly they are, but I mean, they just look so damn different all the time. But the thing is, what's puddled against the floor there is if you had Briz's face, but the skull did not form quite properly, and then left just that sitting in a goo of pasty Caucasian flesh, that's what's in there. Almost like it's an imperfect copy of Briz that did not work. Now, Briz, you can see that it's human, but I'm not sure your brain's registering just yet that this is you. Maybe because you just don't want to register it. You can give us a perception check. See if that fits in knowing what you will be seeing with a successful check.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to.
Oh, yeah. It hits you then. What does Briz say when he realizes there's a goo version of you in there?
Ah, these sick bastards. They're playing games with us. They're making copies of us. And he's going to sort of go in and have a look around to see if there's similar such things in the others.
So is this this goo is is this goo mimicking him, or was it always like this?
What's your medicine?
3.
Well, you can give us a medicine check. Let's see if you can make any sense of what the hell you're looking at. Nat 20.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That is awesome. So whether it's extremely advanced technology or whether it is magic or it is some kind of fusion tech or whatnot, this looks like a clone facility. Because if you look
These
at the
are outlawed. Certainly.
Oh, 100%, especially for sentience.
Yeah.
This is extremely illegal. But the species, it's still. You can give us a culture check again. I know you're not.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, great at that.
It's the goo people. They
Goo
clone
people.
everyone.
But yeah, like there is. The machinery in here has no power to it any longer. But yeah, Briz, like you're getting closer. What's it like, or what's going through your mind? You're 5 feet away from this half-formed version of you. It seems to be dead, at least.
I feel like he would potentially have a flashback that he's potentially been here before and smashed this place up in retribution or madness.
I think, yeah, and you know what? You look down at your hand, and you think of the reconstructive stuff that had to be done to your hand at some point.
Yeah, and he has a horrible thought. Am I actually like the first one? Or am I a copy?
Well, I mean, all you need to do is just, I guess, look at your character sheet. Uh-oh. I see that Voldan and Zozok changed theirs, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably good for your mental health to have done so.
Yeah.
For those who may not be familiar, when you copy a character over using the transmutation tool in Roll20, it creates it, or you duplicate a character in here, it creates it as copy of so-and-so. So I may have left it as that, so the players would think it was just me being careless.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When in actuality, I may be telegraphing something. So, what do you guys... So, Zozok, what are you doing out in the corridor while all this is going on? You can hear Briz, shouting and whatnot. Voldan, you go on. There's something weird sitting on the corner, the desk right here, Voldan.
Mm-hmm. And let's look at it.
It looks like... So, Zozok, you see now precisely what I described. There's also... I'll spare you a great deal of explanation, but there is what the odor in here is like. But all I will tell you is that my friend who is a surgeon says the one thing they always fail to tell you about in medical dramas is how fucking horrible everything smells on the inside of people. And that is the smell that permeates the room here. Voldan, it's really weird because what you're looking at is it appears to be some kind of a pistol, but the reason it drew your attention is because there's something weird about it. The stock of this pistol seems to have it's fluctuating in its surface. Almost as if it's made of something else. I mean, you think for a moment about that ooze that you tore apart. But yeah, this thing seems to be like... There's a ripple that kind of across the stalk on it. As if something's not quite... Like a channel not quite tuned properly.
Yeah. So this is maybe connected to the outside, whatever that is. And I hand it over to Zodek. Here, do something with it.
So as soon as you touch it, what happens is that the pulsing stops, and then it reshapes into a knife. And you realize that if you manipulate it in such a way, it goes back to the pistol. And after a little bit of trial and error, you can easily switch it from a knife to a pistol. You can, do you have any knowledge of anything that would relate to like weaponry or knowledge of that stuff? I think an engineering role might be appropriate if you got a knowledge skill.
So profession soldier, maybe? I don't know.
Yep. You're sitting on a butt ton of resolve. You want to resolve that?
Yeah, I can, but that won't be much better, but I will try anyways.
There you go. So you've heard about these things. There's something, it's a definitely like bleeding edge kind of experimental technology, but they're calling them transformation matrices, or transformation matrices, I suppose. A transformation matrix it's so advanced, it can be like multiple kinds of weapons and kind of lower the amount that a soldier needs to carry, because one thing can be two things.
Interesting.
This, though, seems even more unusual because it's got, when it pulses, it has an organic quality almost to it. There isn't a mechanical reshaping that's going on here. It seems like something else.
May this one be something of that we needed to find? One of the items?
Removing limits from weapons.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, if you, looking around, I guess what they said, labs, right?
Yeah.
This seem like a lab?
Really much, yeah. I mean,
okay.
My understanding of so Woodland's understanding is this is as a lab can be. So
yeah. So then, if you were to hide something in here that wouldn't be found by whoever the gamekeepers are, where would you put it?
So I don't know. I think for Woodland it's this transforms. So this may be. But I don't know. Maybe inside of one of these, or
can it transform into anything that's not a weapon?
I don't know. I wanted to hand it over to Zozak, but he didn't accept it. So I tried again. Yeah, do something.
Zozak will take it. Take a look at it.
He's standing next to you in the MMO, trying to share something with you. Your little share screen keeps popping up.
Yeah, he'll take it and take a closer look at it.
Sure. You can give us engineering or mysticism check.
Oh, mysticism.
That's good.
Wow. This is most definitely a living thing. This is a living transmutation matrix. You also know that this can likely be reprogrammed to transform into any kind of weaponry. Whether this is going to do what they... Well, what did Omen tell you? Omen KC7 said the two things you needed to get.
He said we need to open access to the game area and remove limits from weapons. That's what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But did he say we needed to hide them somewhere? What we find?
I think he said he needed to find them.
Yes.
Just find them. Oh, okay.
So this, while this is definitely would be a very versatile tool, this may actually be something someone else was using, perhaps left behind. Looking at the degree of what do you call it, of bio, engineering that's on display here, most certainly might be the type of expertise that could be used to make something like this living transmutation matrix.
This might have been something that we used on one of our previous attempts.
Quite possibly.
Let's
It is
take
pretty
it.
conspicuously left out here too.
Yeah. I don't know. Come on. So you think we have to look again for another clue? So I will start searching. I mean, this is.
Well, there's another lab somewhere.
Yeah,
So-
but nevertheless, let's search.
Oh yeah,
here
let's
as well.
search the rest. Yeah.
Go ahead and move yourselves where you wish to search.
Is there cameras in this room as well?
From your rolls from before, I'm just going to roll forward the greens. Yeah.
Yeah, Brisbane he's now got a bit of a beef with the cameras. Whoever's playing this sick game, he's got the ump.
So I'm going here.
So he's choosing to remove any cameras that he finds.
So with a couple of well-placed shots, you seem to be on your own now. Voldan, you're giving a thorough search to that desk there. Zozok, boy, that smells worse the deeper you get in here. While Briz is making his way, Voldan, you're searching around and behind the panels because there's those control panels there. You're knocking it over, and that's when something falls out the back of one, and like you barely jogged that. And you realize what's on the floor is something very similar to what do you call it? To what Zozok had found in his hand.
Ah, I see. Look what I found here. This is one of those computer thingies.
So Zozok looks over. Would you each give us a perception check once again, please? Nat 1. Who's got Zozok? Oh boy. All right. So Briz, you hear it first, and it's a weird, you know, that like popping, almost hooting sound that some monkeys can make. It's like that, but pitched way, way down. From underneath Zozok's feet. And allow me to show you what will be surging towards you. And I want to assure you, however bad this thing may look or sound, I assure you, the smell is so much worse.
We got company.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Almost like a tumor troll. And what? That is the reaction I want. Both Ingolf and Darren look like they just bit into something that didn't agree with them. This is what DMs live for. Oh, it's great stuff. Okay. Again, the monsters in this game. Best. All right, hold on here. Let us see here. Okay. Set up their token. Now, the upside is that this thing, or these things, only appear to be about the size of what that Skittermander was. So they're not terribly big. But, my God, did they smell bad. So the reason I'm placing him so close to Zozok is because of that nat 1. But you are going to be able to act this round. This is not the session of Jamie watching while everyone else does stuff. So, that was a game. Well, it looked good. Everyone go ahead and click on your token and go ahead and click on initiative. Ooh.
Goodness.
Okay.
This one. Oh.
Ooh, boy. 25, baby. All right. That is... I rolled a 19 for my initiative, so I do apologize for that first round. All right. Okay, guys. Then, I guess, because we're using rerolls, anybody want to spend a resolve point to roll initiative again?
No.
Yeah?
Zozak will. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and click on your token. Click on initiative. That's better.
Better?
Okay. Full down.
Yeah, I have no chance to ever beat him.
No, well, you're deliberate, right? Like you're a very deliberate Vesk.
Yeah.
Okay. Then these things are up first. So, Oosh. The one closest to you is Zozak. It sounds like bones, like wet bones and tendons snapping as this thing moves, and you can almost hear it like moan in pain as if it's breaking apart and twisting and snapping vital parts of its body as it moves. This thing is not built to be a living thing. And what snaps around you is part wet, part stabbing, and incredibly strong. It wrenches around your right ankle. You take 12 points of damage as it tightens around it, and bits of it have spattered off when it hits. Like it's also like pancake putty. And those little tiny bits are beginning to like wriggle along your leg as if trying to find a way to gain egress into your skin. Would you give us a reflex save, please? You understandably shake your leg and knock them off, so these little rivulets hit the ground and begin slowly inching back towards its full biomass to try again next time. So that was one. The other... Do we go against Zozak as well, or do we spread the joy around? There's a real tasty and half-cooked Vesk right nearby. So let's go towards him. The sound as this thing moves, I want you to take a look at this illustration once again here. There are pulsing little tentacles or something that come out and kind of like wriggle as it slaps around the ground, forming and then disappearing within there as it slides towards you, Voldan. And then nat 20. On the upside, it's the star, the Starfinder sim. So you will get an invitation in the mail for them. And I don't remember how crits work in Starfinder. Do I roll double damage?
Yeah, or plus 50%.
You know what? None of us really care, do we? Let's roll double damage.
Yeah.
You
All
seem
right.
to be rolling another dice previously. You seem to be sort of rolling the same amount because you were getting different amounts.
Different amounts?
Or Ingolf was.
Yeah, no. So many
the
weapons
same
have.
Oh, multiple rolls.
many-
Yes. Yeah, so I'm
No,
rolling. Yeah.
ma-
So it's not just doubling. Okay, so I'm doubling the dice. 14,
Depends on the
21
weapon.
points of damage.
Yeah, that's
As
something.
a similar type of thing, would you give us a reflex save as well, please?
Yes, I will do. Oh, that's okay.
Come on. Yeah,
So-
easy. So you're shaking this thing as it's trying to, you hear popping in your armor as if it's trying to crack it and peel it away like a crab feast. spacecraft feast, a Starfinder.
Yeah.
All right, then it is a Zozok's turn. Zozok, what are you doing?
Well, Zozok is going to use his revolving pistol
Okay.
and try to get this thing away from him.
All right.
Let's see. So... Oh, goodness.
You want to resolve that?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Let's try that again.
Come on. There we go. Okay, that is... Actually, both of those are good enough. That is not great.
They had bad damage.
Yeah. I mean, you know, where do you target on this thing, right? So it...
Yeah.
There is the damage. Then it is Brizz's turn.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna fire off my pistol. I'm gonna shoot towards the nearest one that's attacking Voldan. It seems to.
Yeah, I don't think there's penalty
pretty
firing
bad.
into melee in Starfinder.
Oh, not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think the reason it makes me think makes me think it dealt away with it is because I thought that, you know, most shit is going to be, you know, blazing out with guns and to constantly, you know, make it take a feat chain in order to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think what you can say is that this one has soft cover or something like in Pathfinder, so it is -2 or something.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's, you know, I got it. Here we go. I don't see any penalties here, so go ahead and make your attack. Yeah, we're not going to impose any penalties firing into melee.
Okay. I'm gonna do a full attack, I think.
You got it. Go. So that targets lens. That's energy. So that first one is a hit. The second one is a miss. Which one were you shooting at? The one that's on Zozok or the one that's on Voldan?
Voldan, because it seemed to have got a nasty grip on him. So.
Okay, got it. All right. Then it is Voldan's turn. Were you in Voldan?
Yeah, I think. Come on, this is not to be funny here. So I think actually the last thing I could easily dispose of with my claws. I think I will just do it again.
Okay. Yeah. Reach down and try and tear. Are you doing full attack again?
Yes, I'm doing full attack with my claws. Let's see.
Come on.
No hit.
You want to resolve that?
Yeah, I think I should.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's do it
You have a
again.
much better chance of hitting. Man, you do a lot of damage. I love it. Oh my God.
But no.
Oh, all right. So you're trying, and again, like you're getting handfuls of the shit, and then you realize as soon as you pull it off, it's trying to bore into your hand. So you're like, and dropping it. You're just not able to get a meaningful hit on this thing. All right, then it is these things' turn. So let's. So we're with Voldan right now. Let's stay with him for the moment. This thing is going to try and further choke you. Ugh. Your armor is holding up. It's beginning to squeeze on you. You can hear that ceremonial plate straining against the weight of this thing. And the thing is, seeing it up close, it's almost like it's forming extra muscles where it needs it. So it's beginning to... None of it fits together properly and looks extraordinarily painful, like as if the muscles are going to snap at any moment, but does not manage to do any damage to you. Zozok, this one is going to likewise... Ooh. Yeah, it's going to do the same thing. Try and do a single attack and choke you. Ooh, that is a... Yeah, 26, that's a hit. Okay, so you take 10 points of damage from this, and I need another reflex save from you, please. So if you lose all your stamina, it just goes to your hit points next. You may know that already, but figure I'd let you know. So, Zozak, 10 points of damage on you, and then I need a reflex save from you, please.
Let's see. So, yeah, I'm into his HP now,
Okay.
and reflex save.
Ooh. You want to resolve that?
Good, I think so. Yeah. Spend one more, and come on, baby.
That is just good enough to shit. And these nasty little burrowing polyps do not manage to find any flesh on you. Zozak, what are you doing?
I think so. Is he able to step away and cast in the same turn?
You would need to
or-
spend a move action to pull yourself free from this grip right now if you want to move. You can cast where you are, but casting, I believe, draws attacks of opportunity, and spell interruption is a thing in Starfinder, and there's no concentration check.
Okay.
If you take damage while spellcasting, you just can't.
I think he'll just go ahead then and cast where he's at.
Okay.
He is going to try the Wisp ally spell here, which
nice.
creates a sort of distracting energy that
Okay.
maybe the ooze will target.
Okay, let me
And
just double check here about attacks of opportunity. I think that casting adjacent does draw. Here we go. Maybe I'm wrong. I know that if you take damage, I can't remember if you need to like ready an action to try and interrupt a spell. Let's see here.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
think
right.
it should provide an attack of opportunity. It
Yeah.
is like Pathfinder First Edition.
I just don't. There were a couple of like key changes that I remember from this back when I ran it more. Here we go. Attacks of opportunity. When an opponent in a space you threaten casts a spell. So yeah, you can make a reaction to spell it. So yes. So if you're casting that, then this thing. That second one was looking at your KAC. You're beginning to try and cast that. What does it look like when you were trying to cast your spell?
I think he's just able to lift his hand maybe over his head to get the formation he needs for the
Yes,
spell
you're
to
beginning
start.
to do that, and it's
Yeah.
leaving yourself open. There is a what do you call it? Like basically a tendril that shoots out of its neck like a tumor, slams into the side, and you take another 13 points of damage. And give us one more reflex save. Let's see if. Make sure you don't take any polyps from this. Yeah, no problem. All right, so unfortunately your spell is gone, and you could spend. That was only a standard to cast. You could spend a move to try and get yourself free here if you like.
Yes,
Okay.
let's try that.
Go ahead and give us a acrobatics or athletics. Your choice.
They're equally bad.
So you're trying to pull yourself free and just cannot do it. Briz, what are you doing?
Just seeing if there's anything I could do to help out there other than shooting. Let's have a look. No, I think he's just going to try and shoot that one that's attacking Zolzet. Yeah, he's gonna try far off. Might as well make it a full attack.
Okay. Okay, so only that first one hits, but it does hit. Look at this. Scouring away part of that. Do you think this thing smelled bad before, or now that he's applied scorching to it, Zozak? Oh my. It's never going to leave your nostrils. If that's it for Briz, then it is Voldan's turn. We doing Voldan?
Yeah, I'm trying again. Come on.
Here we go. Come on.
It's impossible to hit this. Never. I mean, just I don't know why.
Come on. Are you kidding
Oh my
me?
goodness.
Oh my god.
So I wrote a 2 and another 2. So I would just
Resolve that?
use resolve. Yeah.
Heck
and
yeah.
then,
Okay. Come on.
I did this. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's not supposed to be.
Oh, see, you're just again like you, maybe just like panic or fury is just taking over you, and you're just not able to get a meaningful hit on this thing. You're getting close, but
Yeah.
where's that damn thing made out of carbon tubes before? All right, so it's back to these things. Turn again, Zozok.
Let's see.
This is going. Sorry, it's attacking you. It's actually its turn, not yours, unfortunately.
Okay.
I rolled a 3. I rolled a 14 in total, so I missed you by 2. So this thing hits you once again, Zozok, but does not manage to do more damage. Voldan, you have a 21 against this thing, so. No, and a 7 is not going to do it either. So Voldan, once again, you're even though you're not able to damage this thing, you're making it force itself to try and break your ceramic armor, and it's just not able to get through. Zozok, your turn once again. What are you doing?
Jeez.
If you want to break free of this, you will need to make a move check, or use a move action to try and make a athletics or acrobatics check.
Okay, I'll start there.
Athletics or athletics. The Soviet-style selection. 14 is 1 shy.
Okay.
You want to resolve that, or you want to keep those points for getting stamina back?
I think I better save those for the moment.
Okay.
And
You still have. You could spend your standard action doing another move action to try and get free, or you could do something else.
I think I'll just do a half attack.
Yep. Let's just go with a regular attack.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this isn't getting -4 to hit, which comes from doing multiple attacks. So here we go. Come on. Come on. That is a physical
14.
against 14. That is another bit of this is chunked off. Almost like it's hanging in sharp, stinky, twisting, stinging tatters right now. Briz, what are you doing?
Yeah, I see that it's still struggling. I'm going to try and finish that one off.
Okay.
So I'll do a full attack. Fire off a couple of shots over in that direction.
Okay. Second one hits. Look at this. It's nearly completely gone. You could, I guess, spend a resolve to re-roll that first one if you wish.
Yeah, at this stage I'm gonna, I think.
Okay, so we'll just count the top one, re-roll, or whatever, re-roll your thing, and then we'll just count the top one.
Top one, okay.
That'll be able to calculate the attack bonus.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
That was not great.
That's
All
a
right.
no.
So then it is Voldan's turn. Come on, Voldan.
Yeah.
Pull it
come on,
together, Vesk.
Yes. I just repeat, and I mean, so it's like this insanity thing where you just repeat and repeat and repeat and hope for a different result. And
There
it
you
is.
go. Look at that, though. Holy smokes. Look at this.
Yeah.
What do we see is you're tearing chunks off of this thing.
Yeah, it's just utter frustration. I don't know what's going on here. This is ridiculous. I mean, I could beat this in sleep, but now I don't know.
So you're just tearing this thing apart. All right, it is going to try and return the favor. So here we go. Well, then that is a 19 which is too shy of what I need to hit you. So it, once again, is trying to get in, but your every tendril that comes out, you slash it aside with your claws, and another one comes out, and you get it aside. You're matching its fury for fury. Zozok.
All right. Well,
it will. No, I still get to attack you.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry.
I'm just having my focus on you right now. Oh boy. Oh boy. It did take laser damage this round, so its feeble efforts to try and stitch itself back together is failing. So it's just going to try and go to Polyp City here. So it's one of David Bowie's least favorite songs. There we go. That is a hit. And that is 10 points of damage. And we need a reflex save from you, please. So Zolzok is nice. Zolzok is stumbling and flailing, trying to get this thing off of him, but he looks in very bad shape. Zolzok, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to try to...
If I might make a suggestion, you can delay in the initiative order if you choose.
Oh, I see. I think that's probably wise at this point, given my options to see what happens from the others. So I'll delay.
Feed the tumor troll or see if someone can free you.
Yeah, I seem to be making it worse on myself, so I will.
Okay. Who do you want to act after?
I'll act after Valdan.
Okay. All right. So Zozok, he's sort of in a panicked look over at you. Briz is like, do something. What are you doing? Is it something?
Yep, I should take a shot at it. I think I'm just going to take one single shot at this time.
Okay.
And just try and concentrate without the minus. That didn't work. So
you want to resolve that?
I'm going to roll again. Jeez.
Nat 20.
Wow.
That thing is zorked so badly so that it was knocked out of the initiative order. Zozok, that thing is off of your leg, finally.
Thanks.
That was only a single shot, which means you could do a move. If you want.
Yeah. I'm just going to get a better position to see this other one.
Okay. Voldan, what are you doing?
Yeah, finish this one off here. Come on.
Okay.
I'm trying again. A full attack.
Okay.
In hope that one hits. And no, none of them hits. Again.
You want to resolve that, or are you going to keep your resolve points?
Yeah, I mean, I should. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
Zozok has yet to go, I guess.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think I will just resolve it and try to
help.
Yeah. So
there
this is
you
one
go.
hit. Yeah.
Okay, what's it look like as you destroy this stuff?
Yeah, I would think I would just say, die, 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 finally die. Come on.
Okay, he's still slamming this thing against the wall and tearing bits away from it well after it has lost all kind of form. Oh. So, and Zozok, you stagger forward and you are pretty badly hurt right now.
Indeed. I think that Zozok's going to try a Mystic Cure spell on himself.
What level would you like to cast it?
Second.
Second level? Okay, so that's 3. Is that how much it casts? 3d8?
19 points. Wow.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, 3d8 plus wisdom.
That's awesome. Is that normally, or is that leveled up?
That's for second.
Oh, that's for second. Awesome.
For second, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so with a gesture, what does your spell look like? We haven't seen this happen yet.
I think it's like almost like a green lines kind of swirling through him, and eventually they sort of dissipate.
Okay. What do you think the source of Zozok's mystic power is?
I think comes from Pharasma, and
Goddess
that,
of Graves.
Yeah, so
You're very close to meeting her.
Yeah, I was very close, and even though she is sort of very black and white about life and death, it wasn't my time.
Okay. Oh. So let me ask you this. You had your suspicions about being a copy, or at least that's what the others were speculating on. What do you think it means that Pharasma is responding to your prayers?
Well, for myself, it would feel like I am myself, and I'm not a copy. At least that would be my impression at that point.
So with that spell activated, you guys can look around. Voldan, you may recall, had just found something in here.
Yeah, look, I found this computer thingy.
He's covered in gore.
Yeah.
Gosh, when I...
Shall we view it here or elsewhere?
Yeah, I think we could rest for 10 minutes and then view it.
Okay.
Agreed.
Because I would just like to regain my stamina point.
Okay. So yeah, anyone can spend a resolve to regain all of your stamina points by taking 10 minutes to rest.
Right.
There we go. All right. And I see we're entering our last hour of our session. Seems like a fun time for everyone to get a resolve point.
Yay!
So, what do you guys wish to do? I guess during the 10 minutes, you're having an opportunity to talk to one another as well. It's a lot of revelations that are happening in here. What do you guys wish to do and say?
I think Brisbane spend most of that time just cursing, to be honest. That he's convinced that he's a copy, and whatever comes out of this, you know, he's no longer the real Brisbane. So he's just out to get whoever's doing this. That's his only goal now. He don't really care what happens to him, as long as he gets whoever's behind this sick game.
I think Zozak is still trying to get the stench from his nostrils, and that he's optimistic that we'll find something in the computer chip, but he will mention that he has the ability to communicate with the deceased if we should like to return to the other room where the dead bodies were, as another source of information. So he'll put that out there to the team so that you're aware.
So, does Brisbane communicate that he thinks he's maybe a copy?
Oh yeah, he's super vocal. He's letting the whole facility know potentially.
Yeah. So
Kicking the can back and forth up and down the room.
I think Bolan was convinced that he was the original, because how could he be a copy? But after this flurry of failed attacks, I mean, he can't be the real one. I mean, that is impossible. It just...
I seem to remember Voldan's rolls differently. The curse of Roll20 has been around for a long time as far as dice rolls go, but yeah, that's interesting. So seems like Zozak's he's convinced that he is the real one, but Briz and Voldan are thinking they're copies.
And would do you think you'd be able to talk to this abomination, this creature on the floor that failed to form properly? Do you think would that count as
you guys can give us either
body?
life sciences or mysticism checks to try and answer that.
It's not my thing, but I'll give it a go.
Nat 20 from Voldan. So here's where you can go between that good well, Voldan got the nat 20. What you can sort of, because you have faced trolls before, And one of the things with them is that because you have to use like radiant weapons or fire or whatnot to face them or acid, the smell of burning troll flesh is a scent that will never fucking leave your nose. Voldan is absolutely certain he's had that smell before. These things stink just like that. It's as if someone managed to weaponize viscera and tissue and bone of trolls without the benefit of skin and whatnot on it. That's what these things were. You're 100% certain, Voldan. You even can kind of point out that, like, there's part of a malformed skull that makes up part of what you shattered that would easily be recognizable as a troll. And Zozok, as he's describing this, you're realizing that, yeah, that must precisely be what this is. And then whatever it was doing with the polyps, that might be like some way of either consuming or adding to the mass or something, because these are really small if they're trolls. But imagine having something that has all the different qualities of trolls, but is more malleable and able to absorb biomass into it. Like, that's a potential, if left unchecked, planet killer.
So I could speak to a creature. However, I don't know that these creatures would be very easy to...
Both of you could recognize these things were more biomechanisms than they were sentient creatures. If there is some kind of intelligence that's behind them, there would be no meaningful information to be gathered from them.
And what about this supposed copy of myself? Would you be able to communicate with that, or
that
do you think
thing
it
seemed to have failed? Yeah, with I think if Zozok takes a look, because I think Zozok's got the highest medicine score or life sciences.
He's a rank of 3.
Okay,
he's an 8 total.
Okay, what you can tell is that there's like, you know, there isn't a rib cage that's properly formed. This was a imperfectly formed clone. Whenever this mechanism here, this tube failed, it
stages.
Yeah, it collapsed, so it wasn't fully grown. Which makes you look at your hand once again, Briz, and like, was this supposed to be your replacement? Like, was this supposed to be the copy of your copy to come in? Because if you're damaged hand, who knows? So, you've had your 10 minutes to catch your breath. You identified what this disgusting thing is. Zozok mentioned that he has the ability to reach beyond the grave. What do you guys wish to do now? With those designs that you traced out... did you make use of the chip at all?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Okay.
We want to read this one.
Okay. Are you putting it into your armor?
Yeah, maybe. I mean...
Okay.
The last time someone else did, it was no good at all. So
Okay.
I mean, come on.
So you put it in, and you can see there is on that kind of head-up display, you know, processing, subroutine accessing, environmental systems online. And there's a flash. You know those purple strange symbols that you've seen? Those move across your screen. You're not sure what they mean, but something else, some other subroutine seems to have activated with this. And then you can pop the little data chip out.
So that means we can maybe move through the acid again without being burnt.
100% with your environmental systems active. And the Starfinder, for those who aren't familiar enough with the setting, if you're familiar with Mass Effect at all, with the kind of like hit a button force field kind of comes up, that's of the level of technology in Starfinder as well. So Voldan, with that, how do you communicate your functioning or the functioning environmental features?
Yeah, so this makes our suits work again. Here, come on. Can I share it or hand the chip to the others?
Yeah, it's a universal port thing. So if you each do that, then likewise, shring, shring, it activates.
It's like in Independence Day, everyone's using USB.
Yeah, exactly. And we haven't ever really talked about it, but I picture that because of Brizz's cowboy hat, when his thing seals, it's kind of like a 50s sci-fi dome. Over his cowboy hat. I will leave George to comment as to whether that is accurate or not. But so the environment, your suits now have full environmental features, which means you can safely navigate you guys are level 4 days worth of food, water, air and whatnot, in a complete cold vacuum.
Okay, so yeah, then let's go and see what's happening in the other rooms.
Okay.
Or?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go back and take a look.
Where do you
Yeah,
wish to...
Briz is already heading to the other door to put his hand on that gap by the other door.
All right. You mentioned shooting out cameras in that other room. Is that your intent in this hallway as well?
Yeah, he's probably going to do it everywhere he sees them now. He's just, if they think they're playing a funny game with us, then at least they ain't going to get to see what's happening.
This is a non sequitur, but it reminded me of, in the attitude of it, I had to go pick up pills for Anna, nothing major, just a small thing, at her vet, which meant I needed to drive into this neighborhood where it's a residential neighborhood. There's this like 4-way residential stop sign I have to stop at to get there. And when I was driving out there was a bunch of cars, rush hour. A kid is standing on the corner with a box in his head. A fucking cardboard box on his head, like a big shipping cardboard thing. There's no holes in it whatsoever. I was like, all right, well, wait to see who's going to cross. It's fine. Go to the vet, pick up the stuff. I come back, and I don't know if he's waiting for someone. Same kid is on the corner and is sitting there doing this. Box in his head so he can't see anybody, but it's flipping the bird to everyone who's walking by and driving by. It made me laugh so fucking hard. Like, a little weirdo. There's no one he was amusing. He wasn't doing it for effect on anybody. Like, no one else was laughing at the performance. Just him being a little weirdo. Gotta have been like 13 or 14 years old, too, so. Fucking funny stuff. Anyway.
Maybe he lost the bet. That's... that's all you can hope.
Well, it's not even like it was a high traffic area too. So like there was enough people there, so he was definitely giving a reaction to somebody, but he couldn't see anyone. So it's not like he was intentionally giving it to anybody. It's just a general fuck you. I'm like, I've had those days too, buddy. Good on you. All right, so then Briz, you have the things ready. I need to prepare one thing here. Where's my radiation dragon? I mean, there's no radiation dragon. What are we talking about? Who said that? Any comment on radiation dragons in here is a gross exaggeration. We haven't had a radiation dragon incident in this facility for 3 days, 4 days. So
I think you should be more scared when Kev don't say it. That's going to be the time that it arrives. So while he's saying it, it's all good.
All right. Where is? Here we go. No, that's why. I'm like, why can I not act? It's on the wrong layer, dumbass. Here we go. Okay. One more thing to prep here. Go. I hope the map keeps working with this number of tokens on it.
Okay. So we found the room with the 99 berserkers in each square.
All right, here is what happens. Guys, so you touch this one in the top on the right of it. As the door opens, there is someone who is shocked, I say, to see you. And they look like this. Wow. What you see? 6 glowing red holographic displays of strange symbols and mathematical terms slowly revolve around the edges of this room, while the data on them churns and rearranges itself. Projectors in the ceiling flicker and whir as they spin and move along tracks to keep the displays in motion. A podium in the center of the room is surrounded by shifting, shining surfaces covered in buttons and touchpads. A mechanical arm attached to the ceiling spins around the podium, holding a sheet of transparent material that displays smaller copies of the rotating holographic displays. At the far end, you can see another of those airlock rooms. But in the center, blue-skinned, bald, and with the same dimension of those burned figures in that central acid-filled corridor, seems to be gesturing and making changes to the numbers that display before it. I rolled terribly on my check, and it does not seem to have noticed you. So let's drop into initiative. Everyone go ahead and click on your token, please, and then go ahead and roll initiative. You find my alien archive. Where are you? All right. Where'd I put you? There you are. There. Okay. Go. And everyone can, for free, anyone who can see inside the room, give us a culture check, please. Reliable as the tide there, Voldan.
Yes.
Hey, Zozok, that 20. Oh, and great roll for Briz, too. These... Now some of this is beginning to make sense, both Briz and Zozok. This is a member of a species known only as the Grey. Yeah. No one knows what planet or even galaxy the Greys call home, but reports of their unnerving abductions, nightmarish paralysis, and mysterious experiments have been collected from countless worlds for as long as starships have sailed the dark spaces of the universe. Such reports are fragmentary and unreliable, offered by victims recounting hazy memories of enduring various procedures under clinically bright lights or waking in cramped and lightless confinement, and do little to explain the methodology or goals of their captors. Those captors, though, have much in common, no matter the specific circumstances or the species of the victim: an otherworldly presence, condescending interactions, and a sinister disregard for the agency and dignity of those they take as subjects for their experiments. And I think Zozok, the name that you could not remember of that elf. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you had a feeling about these things before. You have a distinct recollection of in a darkened theater with bright lights going down, looking, when you could not move your head, your eyes to the side, and finding her surgically disassembled. And we are back here. I'm going to give you another resolve for that nat 20. That seems like you have a real connection with these things. So, let me roll initiative for this. It will not act this round. Ugh, I'm going to roll tarot for initiative. All right, then. Zozok. Perhaps unsurprisingly, you're up first. What are you doing?
Let's see. I think are the creatures holding anything?
He is in the middle of this like transparent kind of. There's a transparent thing down that has the holographic displays, those glowing balls that are in here, those are slowly drifting around the room, projected by shifting projectors that have some kind of mathematical calculations that are being displayed on them, which is also being duplicated on some small displays in front of this thing.
Okay, but otherwise his hands are free, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I think I'm gonna try a mind thrust spell.
Can you see him from where you are?
No, actually, you're right. I'm standing against the wall, so I have to move.
Yeah, like I think I'm fine with you being like, I think from there you can. No, you still can't see him.
No. Let's see.
Guys, what is it? Is it a puppy? Is it? Oh no.
I mean, I guess he has to go. He has to make his way into the room.
Okay.
So that would be his first move.
Sure.
Is to get himself in there.
Okay. So you move. You still have a standard action.
So with the standard action, I think he would cast the mind thrust.
Whoa, not fucking around. All right. So once you click on, I can't remember how that spell works in this game.
Let's see. There we go.
Let's see. Okay. So DC 16. Wowzers. Okay.
10.
Nice. Okay.
He
So,
failed.
what is your mind thrust? I'm going to make my save here. What does your mind thrust look like? Ooh, this thing is psychically gifted, though.
Yeah, I figured he's
But-
probably got some good defense, but
I rolled a 2.
Okay. Well,
So-
I think the thrust itself might just look almost like a shadow that casts from my head all the way across the room to his shape and sort of attacks him that way.
So Briz and Volden, like, you guys have your weapons out. You're sort of ready. You guys have been taking the point on things, as you're making your way through this facility. But somehow, when this door opens, Zozok is the one who strides in and just like gestures at him, kind of like fire starter style, and then this thing hits him, and you can see this creature's body convulses in pain as the psychic force of Zozok's whatever he's feeling smashes into this thing's mind. Briz, you are up next. What are you doing?
I want to use my trick attack. I want to sort of stealth in there to try and get a good advantage.
You got it.
So I'm going to try a stealth
I think you actually
first.
move with your trick attack too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing roll. So yeah, you race in there, keeping cover, or track with the light, so it seems as if you're just part of this. Go right ahead.
And I'm just going to get a good angle on him so he gets a good shot, hopefully.
Come on. Yeah, that's a good one. And roll your trick attack, because you're successful. 13 damage. This thing's hitting the side. It almost knocked its coffee over. Okay. And then Voldan, because this thing doesn't act this round.
Yeah, okay. So I can see his leg, but I think I will just move here where I can have full vision on him.
Okay.
And this is the first time we see Voldan use a gun.
Like ever?
So, no, not ever, but in this setting.
Learning on the job.
Yeah, and he has this super large tactical cannon, which is a heavy and bulky weapon, so you can't do a full attack even if you wanted to. And yeah, just and it has a really wide area of it has this wide line of hitting things, but whatever, I just aim at him at try to.
Zozok might be in the way there.
Really?
Yeah, just because if you look
Okay.
only
So
'cause
then
it-
I would, I would
that-
move here then, because he's
definitely, yeah, you got more than enough movement, and you striding forward with this giant gun feels appropriate too.
Yeah. So just to have and a net 20.
20! Holy shit! So all those dog shit rolls you got from before, what does it look like as you defeat this guy?
Yeah, I think basically he's just a piece of ashes, because this then burns and just burns him to the ground. There's just a little piece of ash there. Yeah.
The plexiglass, those metal plates and whatnot, all are blasted back with a sudden heat from this cathode cannon. And yeah, and the sound has got to be like, the sound of like humming electric wires. Take that and multiply it by 1,000, and that is the sound that you get from this. Oh, there's nothing remaining from him.
I think Brisbane will look over and goes, I think next time you lead with that, Zoldan.
Yeah, I'd like to see the gun out a little more.
So then, guys, with that thing vaporized, what do you do next?
So you can you speak with this dead too? No.
There's like a foot remaining.
I think not. It's blowing away in the wind.
Okay.
But we could look at the workstation area where he was to see what he was up to.
So, does it look like he's monitoring all the different rooms? Is that what his images are? Is it?
It
like
seems
different cameras
as if,
and things.
Yeah. So why don't you give us? I know no one's great at it, but who would like to give us a computers check?
Yeah.
I could attempt it.
Yeah. Volan has no idea where even the computer
You'll
is.
take a look at this and you're like, none of this makes sense. Someone else want to try? There we go. All right. So the display is quite badly damaged by the judicious application of a tactical cathode cannon, but this appears to be some kind of data foundry. There is it's not so much that this is a what do you call it? That this is a place where he is specifically trying to create something other than processing data. This is a extraordinarily complex. This is what passes for busy work. It's clerical filing, but when you have a super genius level of average intellect, this is getting data ready for processing by other things. So this guy, if you can think of it again in that like super intelligence kind of way, this is the grunt work given to the dummy of the group.
Yeah, administrative. Okay.
What you can't tell from the 20 though, like, because what's in here, there are aspects of biogenetics and biological engineering in here from hundreds of different species, but there also appears to be like there's information about political parties and about certain pop culture things, things about the military, like the different types of information and data that this guy is processing in this unit cuts a wide, it can be thought of as general organizational information about a wide variety of different things, from entertainment to military to industry to politics, as well as an enormous amount of very, very, very complex genetic information.
The elf girl who where is she in relationship to the workstation?
She's not here. That was a memory that must have been triggered.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
You can you only got a glimpse of this thing, but the two things you have done, one is their face. You've seen their featureless and expressionless face. Although, I mean, perhaps you would read cruelty onto it, but it doesn't express facial, emotions in the face the way that a lot of other species do. But you also remember the touch of its mind. You yourself are gifted psionically in some capacity. These things are deeply and powerfully telepathic. How did you feel then, I guess, when there was that lingering link after you smashed it with your mind thrust as Voldan vaporized it?
I mean, I feel like he might have felt like he removed a tether, from his past when it occurred, and maybe the vision of his friend as well kind of feels like a different memory than it did before. It was probably not as much detail that he could recall, and now suddenly he can.
Mm-hmm. So, having access there, there doesn't appear to be any immediate response from anything. No security, no alarms going off. This is someone who runs this facility. They were just vaporized, and no one seems to have done anything.
Cameras in here?
Yep.
Point that out.
There was. Briz is finishing his last.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking if that lab was behind this blue wall corridor, maybe the other lab is behind that red corridor. Maybe we should investigate that.
Seems likely, yeah.
Yeah. There seems to be an exit, but this was an airlock, yeah?
I'm conscious to find the other lab before.
Yes.
If Volden, you take a look at the airlock over here, it is exactly a thing, but there's a different access panel here.
Yeah.
It's not really your expertise, but it does appear a card goes in it.
Yeah, we need the red key card, I suppose, yeah.
As there's like a lanyard with a vaporized key card laying on the
You got the lanyard stuff that's left, that's it? Well, fuck. Guess we live here now. All right.
Okay, so then let's try to find the lab.
Sure, let me just...
Brisbane's already left, yeah.
Okay. And in here, again, there were those corroded bodies on the ground in here. You weren't spending a lot of time in here only because of the acidic stuff, but with your environmental seals in place, you guys can stay in here as long as you like. And in Voldan's case, I mean, he could, dance next to a reactor and not worry about, any kind of long-term health effects. That heavy armor has some pretty serious protection.
Yeah, if you guys would like, I could try to speak with these dead here, or they can speak to us. I can't really speak with them necessarily, but they can at least sort of blurt out things that may be helpful, may not be.
Yeah, we can ask them 5 questions.
Okay.
Honest, I haven't seen the film yet, but that's just the very best representation of playing D&D. Classic DM bullshittery.
Yeah, so I think we'll target if is there any distinction between the bodies?
Once you give us a medicine check, I just want to see something in here. Yeah, so you actually, I think maybe Omen KC7's comments about this being a game makes you think. And with careful examination, these are very convincing facsimiles. These are fakes. The dummies. They're biological dummies, and they're pretty convincing. But there's no brain. There would have been no soul in these things. It wasn't, not to cast aspersions on you guys, but there was no proper soul to be attached to this thing in the way that there would be with some kinds of cloning.
More vessels for the ruse.
Exactly.
Come on.
Okay.
However, you do find a slightly corroded pass card on one of them.
We will procure that.
Okay. Excellent. Then, opening up the other door, you're back in the room with the now reformed... no, I'm kidding. It's Voldan has completely destroyed that thing. So, what do you guys wish to do here?
I'm looking for similar patterns in the red wall.
It takes seconds for you to figure out in here. You rolled so well before with that one. You know precisely how to, or where to, if it follows the pattern of the other wall on the other side, you know precisely where to put your hands.
I shall attempt to open this door then.
Okay. That's the one you're starting with. That's interesting. Okay.
I'm not falling for that.
Yeah. I have my gun ready just in case. So I've found a stick to it.
Good.
Listen,
Yes.
not second. You know how I knew that I would love playing with your brother from before is one of our earlier games. I did that too. I asked, he was going to put his hands in down to grab something, and I'm like, oh, you're putting your whole hand down there, and he just goes, whoa, Kev. I'm like, not perfect. Oh boy, yeah, he's a great player. All right, here we go. So you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Now what is in here? What is on the far side of that room is a fissure in the wall. A jagged crack splits the northern wall, extending onto the floor and ceiling. The room is it's not, you can't feel it because you guys have your environmental protections in place right now. But you can see the ambient temperature in one of the displays in your thing, and it is frigid in here. Pale ice fills the crack in the wall, which looks like a demonic grin full of fat, serrated, icy teeth. Bolts, mounts, and wires show where other objects might have been placed in the rooms, but those aren't here any longer. So whether they've been removed, again, I mentioned the sort of prefab feel for this whole place. This has the feel as if it is either being disassembled or being in the process of being assembled. The damage in here suggests that it might not be reassembled. You need not make any rolls to recognize the auto sealing that has gone on in here. There is sort of a safety precaution for any place that has an exposure to the void. But that is what's happened around that icy thing. Apart from that, there is nothing else of interest in this room.
And let's try the other room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm keen to open the other door.
Okay. Allow me to place one thing in here.
So if this is space outside, we're in an asteroid or something. This is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know precisely where to put your hands once again, and you hear a shout from inside, as if from fear, and then someone had a ready to action. Quink, 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 quink. Something plinks at your feet. You guys could each give us a reflex save, please. Okay, so
17.
Zozok, the Voldan and Briz, you're good. Zozok, you're 1 off right now. Are we missing anything from your save?
Don't believe, but I will spend a resolve.
Yeah, sure.
I
You wanna
can.
resolve that,
Okay.
yeah. Ooh, in the wrong direction. All right. Then. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Zozok, you will take 4 points of damage, and Briz and Voldan take 2 as a grenade goes off. Someone has thrown one in there and is yelling at you. You recognize it, the voice. It appears to be that same Bolida, only now he is wearing armor. He has a force pike of some kind, and apparently a tactical pike. Apparently grenades. So, get out of here! Leave me! Leave me! And the level of panic in his voice is indescribable. Everyone go ahead and click on your token. Click on initiative, please. Okay. And okay, here we go. Alrighty. Looks Voldan. What in the what? Oh, you're not first. Very close to first, though. Riz, you're up first. What are you doing?
I can't actually see him yet, so I'm gonna move into the room and try and locate where this voice is coming from.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not doing a great job of hiding himself. They are medium-sized giant bug people, so.
Yeah. Is this lab smashed up like the other one out of interest?
Oh, let me tell you. I believe so.
Okay.
Flashing, spinning purple lights in the ceiling illuminate this room, creating leaping shadows. 4 clear cylinders form an uneven row along the center of the chamber, each with complex machinery connecting it to the floor and paneled ceiling. The second tube from the western wall is broken with shards of clear material scattered around it. Several workstations with computer terminals and chairs stand around the room. Most show no signs of power or function, but those at the western edge emit light from their holographic view screens, which bear strange symbols. And yeah, so he has tossed something in there, or he's tossed a grenade. You can clearly see him at the end there, and I think with the Bolita, you're not reading necessarily like their face isn't expressed in the same way that a human's or like an elf or dwarf or would be, but its antennae are just like twitching, almost like they're like trying to swat something, and his mandibles are like masticating over and over and over again. Very, very agitated. You've known enough insectoid species over the course of your travels to know a really terrified bugman when you see one. So, you still have a standard action. What would you like to do?
If he's... Do I have memory of him from previously?
Yeah, you have clear recollection of having him approached you. I can't remember, who did he talk to? Was it Voldan? Was it Zozok? Was it Briz?
I think Zozok. I was talking to the Skittermander.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
So you
maybe... I do recognize him.
I think you recognize... he was wearing different things. Isn't that orange or ochre jumpsuit on any longer, but you don't have that navy one on any longer either.
No. Can I spend my turn to sort of try and communicate with him?
Heck yeah. Yeah. What do you want to say?
This is all just a sick game. You know, we're not here to hurt you. We're just looking for something, and we'll be out of here. Sure. And you can come with us.
Why don't you give us a... Is it diplomacy in this game? Can't remember.
There is a diplomacy.
Yeah. Let's do that. Unless you're bluffing and I'm going to shoot him in the head afterwards.
No.
Good. All right. So, what you've done, there is... His antennae are a little less agitated, and his segmented eyes are trained on you. I'm going to let him make another save here. And he says, he manages to sputter out, my mind, my fear. And you have an answer to what if you have a question as to what he's talking about, why don't you give us a wisdom save, please? Will save, not wisdom.
Will save, yeah.
Yeah. Just making up shit now.
Oof, no.
Yeah, you want to resolve that?
No, I'll just go with it, I think.
Okay. What is happening is, and you can't explain this, you can feel a crippling sense of fear come a hold of you. And this guy is, he's got a weapon. He did try and blow things up, but the fear you're feeling is well out of proportion to the threat this guy poses to you. If you go in your character sheet, there should be an option for adding a condition. Would you kindly select Shaken? This is a -2 to ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks.
Yep.
This fear is just gripping hold of you, and you have no idea why.
I don't think it's coming from him, or I'm not sure.
I mean, he said that it's gripping his mind. So what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Voldan, you've heard this exchange back and forth. What are you doing?
I think he has not surrendered. We could clearly state that. And he used a grenade. So I think that could be counted as an attack. So I would just...
I didn't know that Voldan was a member of the JAG Corps.
Yeah. So I think I would just shoot back. Come on.
Is this a war crime checklist? No, they were going to go, guys. Fucking frag him.
Yeah. That is
okay.
So I'm just aiming with the cannon and
go right ahead.
See whether this 17.
17 with energy, more than good enough.
Nice.
It hits him. Look at this. And it just shreds the stuff in between, too. The remnants of that one broken canister are just all explode. This panel right here, or the monitor, blows up, and he screams in pain as he's shot.
Yeah. So I drop my weapon and run into the room here.
Sure.
So come on.
Yeah, each square's 5, so I think you could even move more, couldn't you?
I don't.
You got heavy armor on, right?
Yeah.
All right, it's his turn. All right, so unfortunately, I think the fear has once again taken over, and this, this person, the Bolida, screeches, and it has an incredible ability to move over surfaces, centipede style. So it sort of like rears over this, the falling chair, gives it a bit of a lift. So it leaps up and tries to bring that pike down on you. Now, does it have reach? Does not have reach.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
I they have a defensive ball technique. That's amazing. So they can turn into a little ball and roll onto you. Oh man. That's only a move action too. That does take a move action to unfurl. This guy's too scared. So thankfully you've been spared the feared Bolinda ball technique. And let's see here. That is a 19 versus KAC.
That does not hit.
Scratches across your armor, and does not get through. Zozok, what are you doing?
Zozok's going to enter the room. He can't see it yet. And from there, he is going to cast a spell of command at the creature.
Oh, sorry, before you do that, I forgot. Voldan, would you give us a will save, please?
Yeah, if it is against fear, I get +2. Because
It is against fear, yeah, so you will get the +2.
Yeah, so will save, yes.
Yeah.
+2.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, it's got to be a little more to scare Voldan. He just faced a fucking troll tumor with teeth.
Yeah.
So sorry, Jamie, what are you doing then? What's fun?
I was gonna cast command
Nice.
at the creature and
Sentient. They are sentient.
okay.
He's a hostile. Let's see here. Okay, so I need a DC 15 will save. Which will's not great. Let's see. A 5 will not do it. So what was your command?
Halt.
Okay.
So he should be dazed, I believe.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. All right. Then top of the round, Briz, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's gone into a bit of panic, so he thinks that potentially it's coming from this creature, not knowing any better than that.
Okay.
So he's going to just take a shot at it.
Go right ahead.
And sort of hide behind this machinery.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's rubbish.
You want to resolve that?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a go.
Okay. Nice. That is definitely good enough. So as the Zorching managed to cut through the those monitors and whatnot, and you still have a move if you like.
Yeah, he's probably going to back up into the corner. He's sort of.
And then let me see
cover.
if you get another save against this, or this is just how things are now.
And it'd just be sort of, get it away from me. Keep it away.
Yeah, you can give us another will save. Oh, that's great role playing too. You've shaken it. You've no longer shaken. Outstanding phrasing by the DM. You'd almost think I ran 2 fucking sessions today with my eloquence. All right, so then, so Briz, you got back, but you're collecting yourself, and you realize something else is at play here. Voldan, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I have this wonderful feature called Open Volley. So I hit him in the first round, so I can hit him with close combat now much easier. And I got +2 on the attack roll and the damage roll. So I'm just using my claws. Come on.
Okay.
No. And I guess I will do... No, I moved. I did not move, so I can do a full attack.
You can, yeah.
And add 2 to the attack rolls. So 13 and 23.
So that second one is more than enough. Your first one, he deflects it with his... I keep wanting to say force pike. Tactical pike. Fucking Star Wars. So you knocks it one aside, but it leaves it open, and you just like jam your claw right into his thorax. And you hear the crunching of the chitin, and he kind of... And there's a panicked look in his eyes that suddenly ends, where there's almost a peaceful look, and then drops down dead. I need you to give us another will save, please.
Yeah, okay. So 25.
There's something that's it's almost like tinnitus, but in psychic, level. Speaking of which, Zozak, would you give us a will save? I forgot to get you to do that too.
Sure.
Sorry. No problem. All right. But likewise too, like there's something going on in here, and Briz is looking. Has been acting a lot more cautious than you've ever seen him do since you guys came out of those escape capsules. Zozak, what are you doing?
Right now, can he observe which of the apparatus in the room might be powered on versus disabled? There's at the far end, something's running on those screens down there on the western edge of the room here. Okay. Then Zozak wants to head down there to try to understand how it works, to see if he can't possibly disable it or otherwise circumvent the effect. If all you're doing is moving, you could run all the way down there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, get yourself down near where those chairs are. I mean, that is where the second group of troll tumors or tumor trolls are located, but you did fine against the first one. Yeah. Briz. Oh, and then we'll say from Zozak, please. Oh, let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, each round you got to give one. No problem, though. Okay, Briz, what are you doing?
He's just like wiping tables, looking through drawers. Just find this card list, get out of here. And he's just like frantically just
give us a sleight of hand check
down this sideways.
You got it.
I've got the card.
Yeah, and what it is actually it is a pass card like what you've seen, but there is a strip around the back that seems different from that half corroded one you recovered.
Okay. So, yeah, he'll give out a shout and he'll be heading towards the door.
Sure. Voldan?
Yeah,
if you're going to get out, Briz, if you're able to get out of the room this round, then you don't need to make a thing. And then Voldan is running out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Sozok, we are leaving.
We're out of here. Okay. He's heading out.
As soon as you guys step out of this room, that low-level panic you were feeling completely subsides. I mean, what species would want to try and learn ways of driving sentience to mindless panic and fear? What do you guys wish to do next?
Yeah, I suggest we head back to that room.
Yeah.
To the
And your key seems a lot more legitimate than mine.
Let's see. So let's go.
Yeah, so head back into the room
Okay.
where we saw the blue guy.
Okay. So you're able to place that in the socket. And you hear once again, oops, my arrow.
Ah.
Let's go inside.
Heading in.
And place the card in again. And this time, instead of a door opening, there is a feeling of motion. Almost like an elevator moving. How long it will be moving and what you will find on the far side. You'd have to find out by getting Owen K.C. Stevens' Flight of the Sleepers module for Starfinder, because as part 2 of the threefold conspiracy, which is the basis for today's session. This is not, I modified quite a few things, so I didn't want to give a spoiler warning at the outset for it, but most of what we have been playing today has been something written by Owen in the first place. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our Starfinder one-shot, playing Owen's game, using Owen's adventure with some modification by yours truly, revisiting some old friends and meeting one new one. Or is it a matter of meeting 3 new friends? I suppose that is a question for philosophers. I will say, to change from our usual outro here, again, as a reminder, the reason we were playing today's session was in support of Owen K.C. Stevens. Owen is going through a very challenging time right now. He's facing cancer treatment, as well as the other health issues that he has been dealing with. If you do find yourself in a position where you are able to contribute to help him with the financial strain he's going to be going through in the course of doing treatment and whatnot. You can find a link to his Ko-fi account in the description of this video. You can find a link to his Patreon in the description of this video. Unfortunately, I don't think any money goes directly in his hands for this, but if you liked the adventure, the vast majority of this was Owen's creation, including all the little out things I read. So feel free to check out all his stuff out on Patreon. You gain access to a bunch of his free content, a bunch of his content through the Patreon, I should say. And then his publishing label is Rogue Genius Games. You can find a bunch of games published by him there. I do not know Owen personally. We're Twitter friends, and we've corresponded in respect to this game, and he gave us the blessing for the ideas for it. Owen, I hope you enjoyed. If you do watch this session, I hope you enjoyed Omen KC7s. I think that I did not... I haven't met Owen, but George has. And I think Will has as well. And I believe he may actually have an accent closer to Will's accent than anything else we've done. So if that's the case, I didn't know one way or the other for certain. So if I didn't do a bad Tennessee accent for the Skittermander, that would be why. I will say an enormous thank you as well to Jamie, Ingolf, and Darren, especially Darren, who came back early from something in order to play today because George was struck down by illness. I think you did an admirable job of playing Brisbane, and George I think George was watching too, so very, very proud of how you handled him. Engel, it was so good to see you back in Voldan's armored shoes as well too, and Jamie, you made Zozok come to life in a great way. So guys, thank you so much for playing today. For those listening at home, if you didn't join us live, if you're coming across us at another time, the links for coffee and for Patreon were going to be the same. Cancer is not a short, challenge to deal with. It is, as you would say in the parlance, an extended skill challenge or extended challenge at least. So if you do come across us at a later time, don't feel that the need is still not there. You can also find, we'll include a link, I'll make a change to it, but I'll include a link to Owen's blog, so you can also follow along with him. He blogs fairly prolifically as well. You can read about the progress of his treatment if you want to follow along with that as well, and the Pharasma forgiving his recovery as well, and yeah, I guess the only thing I would say is with the amount of games that we have played on the channel that have been Owen has had a hand in, that we've had so many good memories with Starfinder, with Star Wars Saga Edition, 4th Edition, 3.5, Pathfinder 2. I've mentioned this ad nauseum on other in other little blurbs, but the comic community figured out sometime in the 80s that the industry itself is not particularly fair to creatives, in the sense that, especially when they get into late life, it's very difficult, especially if you live in the States where there's no public health care, to be able to pay for a lot of those needs that come with going on in old age. So I hope that folks are able to support Owen in this, but Owen is but one of many creators who find themselves in the same situation, and the industry as a whole, it would be wise to take a lesson from the comic industry. The comic industry has something called the Hero Initiative that assists with this kind of stuff. It is supported by publishers, and it's supported by donors as well. And the industry, rather than having just kind words to say about the creators when they are gone, it would be wise to try and do something about extending their life and assisting them, and saying thank you in a small way for the work they have done, for the things they have contributed to the hobby and to the enjoyment. It is really something that I think that should be put in place. The industry is big enough now and lucrative enough now that there's really no reason to not be doing so. So anyway, we do hope that this assists Owen in some small way, and we wish him nothing but the fastest and most full of recoveries. For everyone who joined us for this as well too, thank you. I guess with that, we'll wrap this sucker up. You can find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server as well, if you want to chat with us about this in any way. You can find Owen on Twitter, and that will be really it. Jamie, Ingolf, Darren, thank you so much for playing such a great game of Starfinder. Every time we play this, I'm reminded how much I like this game. I don't know. So, for those listening at home, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that these unusual copies, or maybe they're originals, I don't know, had in this strange lab at the mercy of the Greys. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.